emotionally, mentally, and the spirituality around.
Carolina Hurricanes hockey is presented by Lenovo and is brought to you by Pepsi, Spectrum, UNC Health, Vector Security, North Carolina Education Lottery, Harris Teeter, Kia, and Cardinal Apparel. You're listening to the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Like the side view mirror on your car, objects may be closer than they appear. That might be the best way to sum up the position of the Carolina Hurricanes as we approach Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Hi, everyone. I am Adam Gold, and tonight, Canes will venture into Philadelphia looking to do exactly what they did in Round 1 when they extended their series lead to 3-0 over the Ottawa Senators. But here's the rub. While the Sens were probably a better team than the Flyers are right now, and they were certainly healthier, Carolina isn't playing as well as they need to if they want the Round 1 pattern to repeat. Taking you back a couple of weeks, Canes took a 2-0 lead over Ottawa. Frederik Andersen effectively won them the double overtime thriller, as he did on Monday. Then the Hurricanes took their game into Canada's capital and effectively stifled the Sens offense in a 2-1 win that ended up a 4-game sweep of the opening round series. If that sequence is to repeat, the Hurricanes will have to be a way better team, a far more disciplined team than they were on Monday. Because while Philadelphia isn't nearly as talented as Ottawa, they certainly are more committed to their system, which is weighted towards limiting your chances more than it is creating their own. And Monday, for the first time in these playoffs, the Canes found themselves on the wrong end of the scoreboard early. 2 goals, 39 seconds apart within the first 5 minutes. First coming on a Philly power play, 1 of 7. The next on the subsequent bump-up shift, and the Canes were reeling. But Carolina would get their own power play, which would provide at least the on-ramp to the road back into the game.
9 seconds left on the power play. Blake with it. Sent across. They score! A power play goal! And Nikolai Ehlers gets on the board. And the Canes cut the lead in half. It's a 2-1 game in Carolina.
Ehlers has been so good all season, but was coming off a quiet opening round series, so that was encouraging. And after that, it was Frederik Andersen's time to shine.
Philly with a chance out in front for the break. Andersen makes the save, knocking it away from Barkey, who got loose. Now sent it cross, and Andersen got it gloved to it. Still losing Frederik Andersen. Oh, what an athletic save. Lunging with the glove, and he'll hang on.
That's Andersen's best save of the series. Might have gotten some help from the post, I'm not sure. Moving with purpose from right to left.
Andersen just buying time long enough for a little tweak in the forward lines to pay off.
Ehlers into the Philadelphia zone. Snap back, he scores! Oh, Seth Jarvis comes in and makes it happen! And the Carolina Hurricanes have tied it at 2!
The top line had been MIA at 5-on-5, so something had to give. And like Game 2, the previous round, we would head to overtime, and similarly, it was the visiting team that seemed to apply the most pressure. The game maybe should have ended. Philly's Matvei Mishkov had the game seemingly on his stick.
Philadelphia in the slot. That shot's deflected away. Miller got a piece, lost his stick. Philly keeping it in. 3 Flyers in front of the net. They can't connect on a pass. Aho will get to it and find a seam and clear it.
What more can Keandre Miller do? Game-saving block. We play on.
Miller and his partner, Sean Walker, were just stellar. And it was that duo that helped Taylor Hall be a hero.
Canes with a chance, drifting in, getting a shot free is Hall. Still loose, they score! They score! It's over! Carolina, Taylor Hall wins it in overtime!
Chills. Hall, career best 9 points in a single playoff season. We got the lineups, maybe a little bit more on the other side. This is Canes Hockey on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network. Hey, it's Adam. Adam Gold inside our network studios. Lineups coming up. Not a lot going that isn't going well for the Canes. They've only allowed 7 goals total in the 6 games. The penalty kill humming at 94%. But Carolina's going to have to be better on their own power play. Just 3 power play goals in 25 tries. Injuries and scratches brought to you by UNC Health, official healthcare provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. Goaltender Pyotr Kochetkov, forwards Jesperi Kokiniemi and Nick Delorier, defenseman Mike Riley, healthy extras. That means Alexander Nikishin's back in. Let's get to the lineups. Aho, Jarvis, and Svechnikov. Stankoven between Hall and Blake. This line has just been ridiculous. Even though they didn't score as a group, although they were on the ice for the Taylor Hall goal, they were all over the game again. Jordan Staal, centers Jordan Martinook and Nikolai Ehlers, Eric Robinson, who had 5 grade A scoring chances in Game 2 with Will Carrier and Mark Jankowski. On defense, Jacob Slavin and Jalen Chatfield, Keandre Miller and Sean Walker, Shane Gostisbehere, and Alexander Nikishin, who is back after missing games 1 and 2. Frederick Anderson, 6-0, .958 save percentage, and a 102 goals against average. Mike and Tripp will take it from here. Game 3, round 2, Canes and Flyers. Canes hockey. This is the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Menu and order online today at penn-station.com.
The Canes light the lamp. Here, WCMC HD1 Holly Springs, 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
We welcome you inside Xfinity Mobile Arena. It is game number 3 of the second round playoff matchup in the Eastern Conference between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Philadelphia Flyers. As the scene shifts to Broad Street, well, a little bit further down Broad Street from where the Spectrum used to be. Tripp Tracy, Mike Maniscalco here on the call on the Hurricanes Radio Network. And Tripp, what are you looking for right off the bat from this Carolina team to take control of the first game on the road in this series?
Well, and to take control of the series, which you're able to do if you win a game on the road. And I just want to see the same start. I would take it and run for the hills if you got the same start that you did in Game 3 in Ottawa. This team has not dipped their toe in the water at home or on the road with their starts all season. And they'll need to have that type of start here tonight.
It'll be Jordan Staal digging in the face-off circle against Luke Glendenning, and here we go. Flyers win the face-off. They'll deflect this one into the Cane zone. Tap forward by Garnet Hathaway. He's back in the lineup, and he's eliminated in the corner by Keandre Miller. Hathaway played game 1, didn't play game 2, but no Noah Coates for the Flyers as he is done for this series. And also no Owen Tippett. He's missed his 3rd straight game in this series as the Canes are moving left to right on your radio dial. The Flyers setting this one up, and a shot from the point gets through by Drysdale. Save made by Anderson as the Canes now get this across. Chatfield gets in with a step, a little backhander on Vladar, and he'll make the save and hang on.
Chances for both teams, and now a little action from Travis Konechny. Jalen Chatfield after the whistle. I mean, how good has Sean Couturier been? He was below the goal line in the Carolina zone and found Jamie Drysdale, who had the first goal Monday night. First goal of the hockey game, and Anderson fights through traffic, makes the save. Back comes Carolina, and Chatfield, unfortunately, jumping into the rush, was forced by Konechny to his backhand, which made the shot towards Dan Vladar a lot less difficult to deal with.
Now for Carolina, it's a face-off in the Flyers zone to the right of Vladar. Aho helps fish that one down into the corner along the end boards. Ristolainen reaches for it for Philadelphia, but it'll pop free, and Chatfield able to play it, but it hops over the blade of Svechnikov, and the Flyers can get it out. Forster, long stretch pass, Konechny comes in, Anderson gets across and makes the save.
And got a piece with his blocker. That may have caught the post as well, as Konechny was able to stretch the ice. You know, he had that golden opportunity in overtime that everybody thought went wide, but Freddie got a piece of that to extend the game before Hall's winner Monday.
The Flyers have had 2 grade A looks in the first minute and 20 seconds of game number 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. And now gapping up, big hit delivered by Sean Walker as he put that on Trevor Zegras, and a loose puck will be settled down by Carolina. Now Blake has some problems with it. Zegras will relieve him of the puck. He'll drop it for Alex Bump. Bump has it knocked away to Blake, and Blake gets it to safety for Taylor Hall, who had the game-winning goal in overtime in game 2. He's got a point in every playoff game this year, does the former first overall pick of the Edmonton Oilers. Now shuttling this one back. Walker's shot goes off of a leg, and the Flyers get to it, just bang it off the glass and out. But Keandre Miller, the new dad, waiting for it at center ice and sends it back in, and Will Carrier doing what he continues to do, hit everything in a Flyers jersey. Just wiped out York behind the goal line, and Carolina can keep the puck in the Flyers zone. Long shot deflected just wide, and Vladar had to be ready there as Gostisbehere took aim, the former Flyer. A 3rd-round pick in 2012. And as you pointed out, Tripp, several times, won the national championship with Union College in this building.
Yeah, and good to see Alexander Nikishin, his first shift back in the lineup. Gostisbehere got that shot through. He got a tip on the way in. You'd love a big night from Gostisbehere offensively.
And Nikishin missed the first 2 games in this series after the rough hit he took from Taylor Clevin in game number 4 in Ottawa.
And Sean Couturier has had a terrific series. Just tried to line Nikishin up at the Carolina blue line, and Nikishin was ready for it.
Now Hathaway steps into Chatfield, but Chatfield able to deliver this one deep into the Flyers zone. Staal races after it. He'll step in front of Nick Seeler. Staal, the corner to the left of Dan Vladar. Now pinned along the boards, along the end boards here. Still fighting for it. It'll come free and chipped out. Chatfield will play it on his backhand to Ehlers. A little shot gets through, but deflects to the far boards, and Philadelphia can clear. And Couturier was lined up by Chatfield. He just missed him as Couturier felt the hit coming.
Chatfield, you know, Carrier earlier. Carolina recognizes the physical importance of this game within the framework of how you want to play.
Now a good play by Aho, but Carolina will be offside. 16:15 remaining here in the first period.
Yeah, pretty good start. I would say the 2 best chances have come from, you know, the Flyers. I mean, Tyson Forster, who has been good defensively, but tough offensive series. He's at the blue line along the Philadelphia bench. He goes way across the ice to Travis Konechny for the best chance of this young hockey game, 3 minutes and 45 seconds in.
Now Forster first round pick in 2020. Barry Colt, much like Andrei Svechnikov. Now the Canes win the offensive zone draw. Jarvis giving a heavy shove, but he gets the puck to Svechnikov. Miller, his shot doesn't get through to the corner. It goes, and then Svechnikov has a heavy hit for Sanheim. They'll fight for it just in front of the Philadelphia bench along the far boards. More pushing and shoving as Dvorak and Svechnikov get into it. Konechny helps kick it back, and Ristolainen will skate it out over his blue line. He'll shovel a little backhand in, and Forster tries to play it, but Miller gets it up the boards, and Carolina can get it out.
As soon as Ristolainen got that puck at his own blue line, Forrester, who had set up the Konechny chance, he flew up the ice. That's what the Flyers are going to do to try to create transition.
Stankoven has it go off of his skates. Drysdale comes in and hits the post. A correction, Porter Martone. Now it's Drysdale sending it down low, looking for Martone. Martone had him beat and hit the post. Now it's sent across for York. That's the third good look for Philadelphia here in the first 5 minutes, but Carolina will survive that. And now Hall down the right wing boards, drops it for Blake, cuts to the middle, across. That shot is ricocheted just wide. Chatfield jumps into the rebound. Oh, that would have been another opening goal for Logan Stankoven, who fired a pill, but just wide. Now Hall with it behind the net, looking for an option. Watched by Drysdale. He'll get that to the point. Slavin's shot is kicked away by Vladar.
The best early chances for Carolina have been point shots with traffic in front. Zegras, his best start of the series, setting up that Martone chance.
Chatfield setting up Carrier. His backhand will go wide. Robinson has a hit for Andre. Emil Andre able to get it out. Flyers in control. And this will be airmailed into the Kane zone. Bouncing puck, and a chance out in front for Grundstrom, but Anderson gets a piece.
Gunstrom had a ton of speed. Freddie Anderson could have gone out and played the puck. You got to make a convicted decision if you're Anderson. You're going out to play that puck or you're staying home. And with conviction, he decided to stay home. It made a really good stop on Gunstrom, who set up Philadelphia's second goal in their quick start on Monday night. Yeah, with Zegras finding Porter Martone. Martone, I thought, had a good game too. And he caught the post on the glove side.
Martone, the Michigan State product, only played 9 games in the regular season, had 10 points.
Yeah, he told me this morning, very close with Hurricane Stanley Cup champion Corey Stillman, because he's from Peterborough like Corey.
And now Carolina, big defensive zone draw win. Now get it over the blue line. Jankowski getting to it. Once again, Carolina moving left to right here on your radio dial or on your smartphone, tablet, or whatever device you're consuming this game on here. And the Stanley Cup playoffs, as the Carolina Hurricanes have a 2-0 series lead over the Philadelphia Flyers, and this is not going to make it for icing. They're going to say it was deflected, so Nikishin has to play it up the boards for Gostisbehere, and puck still left there. Hathaway able to create some space for Couturier. Now Glendening with a backhand pass, but Hathaway unable to get to it. Martinook, he'll finish off Andre along the boards and flip this one all the way into the Flyers zone, giving chase his Ehlers.
Good start for Nikishin. Tied up Hathaway in front.
Now bouncing puck. Couturier will settle it down. Glendening out in front looking for Hathaway, but his hands weren't there. Now Andre sends it across. A shot for York. Save made by Anderson. He'll kick that one to the boards behind his net. Philadelphia has started this period on their toes. Kept in by the Flyers, and fans are looking for a penalty call here as Hathaway was taken down. You can hear it's not being provided. Now Jarvis will send this into the corner. He's stepped into by York. Up the boards and out off the glass by Philadelphia, but Walker waiting for it. Batted forward for Forster. Tyson Forster into the Kane zone. Down the left wing boards. Cuts out in front. Poked away expertly. And Carolina will dump this one down the ice.
That was a pretty good Carolina stick, preventing that chance, that penetration. They've had a good start, the Flyers.
Now Konechny off balance, tries to get a shot through at the top of the rings, blocked by Chatfield. Konechny controls the pass. He got it back for Ristolainen, who can't handle it. And Sanheim bails out his defensive partner. He'll put this one in over the Canes' blue line. Now Miller, shoulder to shoulder with Konechny, able to make the play. And this is sent out to center ice as Hall was looking for Blake.
Got to get to that first commercial timeout.
Well, we're at that point. Just don't have the whistle yet.
You take the whistle. I think this is been a pretty solid Philadelphia push early in this game.
Now Blake will deflect this one into the Flyers zone. Drysdale fakes going up the boards. He'll reverse it around York. Gets it through Chatfield, and the puck is picked up by Slavin at his blue line. Now pawed down by Bump as Slavin wanted to go with a longer pass. Bump taken off the play by Slavin. Puck rolls to Anderson. He gets the whistle.
That's the whistle you needed. Super play by Jacob Slavin. Bump, he has a bright future. Tried to go between the stick and the body to create a chance at top speed. And Jacob Slavin just marvelously played the body. Anderson holds on.
He is the best defenseman in the league when it comes to making those plays. Jacob Slavin, and the Carolina Hurricanes are scoreless with the Flyers with 11:31 left to go in the first period. You're listening to the Stanley Cup playoffs here on the Hurricanes Radio Network. Here in the first period, alongside Trip Tracy, Mike Maniscalco here with our engineers, Joe Carminati in the booth with us here at Xfinity Mobile Arena. Rusty Helzer back in master control in Raleigh. And Philadelphia early on, Trip, first 8.5 minutes, they have been on their toes in this one.
Yeah, what does the commercial timeout do for the Hurricanes? I mean, Carolina's had a couple of chances, but you know, the Flyers, for me, have hit two posts. I think Travis Konechny's chance from Forrester hit the blocker side post, and then Porter Martone from Zegras definitely hit the glove side post. So you've gotten through it with no damage. Sometimes a commercial timeout can settle you down just enough to start to tilt it your way. Early edge, definitely Philadelphia.
Defensive zone draw here for Carolina as it's Staal. Glendening will be waved out. Couturier will have to take it. Draw to the left of Frederick Anderson.
It's beginning to be ridiculous just how well Sean Couturier has played in this series. Yeah, his ice time reflects it because it's on the upswing.
And the thing for Sean Couturier, it's his 14th season with the Flyers. You go back to what he has done. He is the longest tenured athlete in any pro sport in Philadelphia. As Anderson comes out of his crease to play this puck up the boards. And Couturier, if he plays next season, will tie Bobby Clark and Claude Giroux for the most seasons played in a Philadelphia Flyers uniform. As Philly will keep this into the Kane zone, bumped in the corner, Chatfield to it, and he will flip this one out to center ice. And Staal with a great play at the blue line around Ristolainen. But then he ran out of real estate and just shot that one a little bit wide. And that allows the Canes to work a forecheck a little bit more. Shot by Walker. A little friendly fire. It goes off of Staal. Over the blue line and back to Walker.
Tough hit from Sean Couturier on Jordan Staal in the neutral zone. They may go.
Staal let him know about it. Carolina's going to keep playing out in front, and Vladar has to make a save as Carrier was there.
It just looked like Couturier first maybe with his elbow, and then certainly his stick came up on the Hurricanes captain.
Now chipped out over the Canes blue line. Flyers settle it down as Grunstrom throws it back in the Cane zone. Robinson got a piece, couldn't get it out. Jankowski reads that pass. He'll flip this one to Carrier, who will hammer this one into the Flyer zone. Not fully deep. Philadelphia can send it right back into the Canes end, but Aho on a change comes back to get it up. Up the left wing boards, he'll get it to Jarvis. They'll exchange back for Aho. Now a shot, Nikishin. That goes wide through the blue paint. Vladar had to be ready. Canes can keep this in. Well played there. Going off of the far boards as Gostisbehere has it. Sent across and a shot by Jarvis. Answered by Vladar. Gostisbehere. Slap pass. Aho tries to set up Svechnikov. He was tied up neatly by Andre.
Sharp start for Shane Gostisbehere offensively in this game.
Now it's kept in. Angle pass for Nikishin. He'll drop it back to Aho, who's staying at the right point. He goes across the blue line for Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere gets a shot through as he worked around Michkov. He'll keep it in. It's Aho. Now it'll be deflected, and Michkov will just gap wedge this one to the Canes' blue line.
This is the best I think Gostisbehere in the first half of this period has looked at any point so far in these playoffs.
9 minutes, 5 seconds left here in the opening period. No goals for either side. Now a good play made here by Chatfield. In the slot, a shot from Hall, and that's answered by Vladar. Canes really putting the pressure on now. Another shot here by Chatfield doesn't get through. Broken stick. Carolina, can they take advantage? Nope, Philly's going to get to it and flip this one high to the neutral zone. It's Konechny will try to gum up the work. Slavin knocks it into Konechny, and then Slavin calmly plays it away from Travis Konechny. Now Hall has it in his skates. He's given a heavy shove at center ice, but Jackson Blake picks it up. He'll dance through a couple of Flyers, lets the shot go, but that's wide to the right of Vladar. And the rebound finds Alex Bump.
Canes are starting to show signs of finding it now.
Back to that TV timeout you were talking about. Canes have gotten their best offerings. Now Zegras with a good play out in front, and oh, Mr. Anderson, how did he rob Bump on that one? A beautiful setup by Martone.
He was a step ahead of the play that Martone was going to pass, not shoot. Well, his read was exceptional there. He was a step ahead of that shot before it even got to Bump.
Now Staal is going to get to it in the Philadelphia zone. He'll leave it for Martinook. Rimmed it around, but too far. Out of the zone it comes. Walker has to play it. He absorbs the hit from Martone and throws it back into the Flyers' end.
I think it was because Martone was on his backhand. Freddie with his IQ, Freddie Anderson that is, he knew it was going to be a pass, not a shot.
Now Couturier edges one in. He'll go into the corner, send it out in front. Jankowski's there playing that deep center, and he'll rip this one back into the Philadelphia zone where Robinson tries to step into Andre, but a good play by the Flyer defenseman to avoid the heavy contact. And now this puck will ease its way into the Cane zone. Will it make it for icing? No, it won't, but we're going to get some
sure
back
did.
behind the play. They're going to call it icing.
Yeah.
And look, the linesman was waiting, staring at it. It was like the end of Caddyshack.
Oh, you're on tonight. There was a scrum going on as the icing was occurring, but then, aside from the linesman that didn't call icing, trying to deal with the scrum, also dealing with Philadelphia trying to make a change when they can during an icing sequence. So there's a lot going on there. Now the Flyers can't change. On comes Aho. The Aho line has looked pretty sharp here early.
I'll see if they can get this offensive zone draw. One cleanly by Aho. Right back to Slavin. His shot through, and a save made by Vladar. And this puck will be picked up in Glendening. We'll just ease it into the Cane zone. Chatfield right back to it, up for Svechnikov down the right wing boards. This is going to turn into a self pass for Svechnikov as he throws it in the corner. He'll get some help from Jarvis, but able to skate it out of trouble and move this one up is Philadelphia. Now a race for it. Forster's going to get to it behind the Canes net. He and Slavin have a couple of shoves. Now played back, but Sanheim fans on it, and Carolina is able to change up as the puck goes over the blue line. 6:35 remaining here in the opening period. Flyers playing like a team that needs to win, down 2-0 in this series. And now we're going to get a penalty call. And interference will be the crime. And it looks like Sean Walker heading to the box for Carolina.
I'll tell you what, I thought that Garrett Rank, who made that call, his arm did not initially go up. It was on the half wall in the Carolina zone, opposite side of the bench. He'll take us to the commercial timeout, but there was not initially a call. I think the Flyer fan base helped him raise that arm.
We will set up the penalty kill for the Carolina Hurricanes with 6:26 left to go in the first period. Flyers nothing, Carolina nothing. You're listening to the Stanley Cup playoffs on the
today to see what you're capable of in a vehicle that inspires confidence around.
We get ready for the first power play of the evening. It goes to the Philadelphia Flyers. Carolina's penalty kill in the series, 10 of 11. So you can do the math what the Flyers power play is. They have the 14th ranked power play, and Carolina starts this off by winning the draw with Jordan Staal, and they send it all the way down on Dan Vladar.
That is so critical. Jordan Staal, it seems like, has won the majority of his penalty-killing draws so far in these playoffs against the Senators and now the Flyers.
Flyers have the 14th ranked power play this postseason, just 3 for 28. Carolina's penalty kill overall in the postseason, 34 kills on 36 tries.
I did think the Flyers power play in overtime, even though the Hurricanes got through it before the Hall winner, was their best looking power play so far this series.
Now Philadelphia able to work this puck into the zone, and it's flittered behind the net of Anderson. Played along the boards, and Aho will get to it. But this will be flipped into the Hurricanes bench, stopping play with a minute 15 left in the infraction to Sean Walker.
I mean, Jamie Drysdale scored on their first power play of the game, the first goal of the game in Game 2. You know, but then the Flyers had all those power plays that didn't even get a shot. The one they had in overtime on Andrei Svechnikov's penalty was a good-looking power play, and specifically how Jamie Drysdale looked. Now, Drysdale's group is just headed off, so Rick Tocchet going to his other group that's on now.
And the Staal Martinook grouping comes back out. Martinook had 3 shorthanded goals in the regular season for Carolina. And Ristolainen can't keep this in after a face-off win by Philadelphia. It was bounced back to the right point, and now having to figure it out is Philadelphia as they'll drop this one back for Christian Dvorak into the Kane zone. Cam York giving a hard shove around the boards, and Nikishin will bounce this one back in between the blue lines.
You got a defenseman who kills penalties in the box in Walker, so you lean on your depth to kill penalties, and Nikishin being utilized back in the lineup.
And Miller will chip this one out to center ice, so the Canes penalty killers trying to do the job here. Aho comes on the ice. Martinook is still there. We'll see if Aho's running mate, Seth Jarvis, can get out. As now Philly will keep it in. York has it at the left point. He'll dance with it and go down the left wing boards, get it right back from Martone. He'll whip it back for Ristolainen, and Ristolainen can't handle it. Over the zone it goes, and Philadelphia has to tag up, and there is only 10 seconds left in the penalty kill for Carolina.
Another really good one for the Hurricanes.
And this is going to be wristed out of play, but they're going to say it was in the Flyer bench, or are we going to get a delay of game penalty here on Carolina?
I don't think there's going to be a delay of game penalty. I think it's going to just determine where this face-off is going to be, and that's pivotal because it's going to be a neutral zone draw. If this had been a defensive zone draw, yes, there's just 4 seconds left in the Sean Walker penalty, but that would give you a pretty good opportunity if you could win the draw. And it just shifts to the neutral zone, and it'll be Jankowski against Zegras.
And Jankowski plays it to the boards, and out of the box comes Sean Walker. The Canes penalty killers do the job. 0 shots on that power play for the Philadelphia Flyers, and the Canes penalty killers now in this series are 11 of 12. Now Zegras with it as Philadelphia did get the puck in the Canes zone, but his pass can't be handled by Drysdale. Over the blue line it goes. And Philadelphia has to just chip this one back in and didn't gain center ice, so a unnecessary icing against the Flyers with 4:02 remaining here in the first period.
When do you think the next game is going to be where Carolina has more power plays than their opponent? It hasn't happened since game 1 against Ottawa. I mean,
can I hope tonight?
Well,
can hope
I
in
was
one
trying
hand.
to lead you with that.
I know.
I was hoping for it because when we left the hotel, the New York Knicks were checking in and saw huge Caniac Patrick Ewing. I know he's hoping for it.
Oh, absolutely. He's used to getting the calls when he needed them. Here is a big face-off win. And Stankoven gets it back now. Moving in is Gostisbehere, and Vladar will read it. By the way, if the Canes do go on the power play and they put the biscuit in the basket on the power play tonight, you get a free Bowberry biscuit at participating Bojangles tomorrow morning. Bojangles, it's Bow time. Alongside Chip Tracy, Mike Maniscalco. 3:55 left here in the opening period of game number 3 of the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Hurricanes and Flyers still looking for a goal here on your Hurricanes radio network.
On the ice, and Shane Gostisbehere, this is the best I've seen him look so far in the playoffs. He's pointless. He has been a creator offensively, and the Hurricanes have had their looks here in the opening 16 minutes.
It'll be Stankoven to take the draw to the right of Vladar, and then he's waved out, and Taylor Hall will immediately jump right into the circle against Luke Glendening. Hall will tie up Glendening, but Ristolainen gets to the puck for the Flyers, and the big defenseman plays it along the boards. Not out. That is going to be hammered and just wide going around the board. Stepping up on the play is Nikishin. Flyers having a hard time getting it out. Now Blake will keep it in, trying to feed Stankoven. Into the corner it goes, scooped up by Taylor Hall. He'll get it to Nikishin. He's going to fake the shot, get it to Gostisbehere in the slot looking for Blake, but Blake was tied up and didn't get a chance to put the stick to it, and then Couturier knocks down Gostisbehere, and Carolina is going to get their first power play with 3:25 left in the first.
Gostisbehere's been really good here in this first period. Rover-like offensive shift there to draw the penalty. Kyle Raymond makes the announcement, and you don't have Noah Cates, who would take penalty-killing draws. Sean Couturier, who would take penalty-killing draws. They still have Glendening, but this is a really good opportunity for the Hurricanes on the man advantage here late in the period. Gostisbehere's partner, Alexander Nikishin, back in the lineup, number 1. he seems to have a really protective mindset, which I like coming off that Clevin hit in Ottawa.
Now for Carolina, it is a power ball power play. And they're going to start it right off in Svechnikov. Got it from Gostisbehere, and his shot airmailed and off the glass. Carolina can settle it down. Good keeping here by the Canes. There's now a chance for Aho to drop it back for Gostisbehere. Good net front from Carolina with both Staal and Jarvis. Aho with it. He'll take a bump there from Glendening. Hang on to the puck. He'll get it right back after getting it to Jarvis. Now Gostisbehere to Aho. Jarvis at the side of the net. Knocked away. Excellent stick by York. Now behind the net, it's Staal. Staal will come up with it using that country strong to come up with a loose puck. Now Gostisbehere hammers one. Rebound out front. Svechnikov in. Vladar gets across to make the save. Kept in here by Gostisbehere. 1:12 left. Now Svechnikov, a little wrist shot. Staal banks it in and he scores! A power play goal! The captain at the side of the net, and the Canes have quieted the Philadelphia crowd. It's 1-0 Carolina.
What a power play shift from the captain, Jordan Staal. He started it by winning the initial power play face-off clean. Carolina had some good looks, and the Flyers may have gotten it clear. But Staal, you called it that country strong, prevented with his physicality below the goal line from the Flyers clearing it. And eventually lively end boards, and Staal, puck explodes off the Philadelphia end boards. And as Vladar is trying to recover, he gets to it first as the captain and pokes it between Dan Vladar's legs. Starting with his power play face-off to kickstart it all, physicality below the goal line, and then quick hands off the end boards. What a shift from the captain.
And 2:33 left in the first, and his first of the postseason, his 39th career playoff goal. Jordan Staal has the Carolina Hurricanes up 1-0 here in Game 3, where the Canes looking to put a chokehold on the series, up 2-0 after winning the first two games in Raleigh. And that's big just on the way that this period had gone, where Philadelphia, you could argue, Tripp, had really had the better of the play for the majority of it. But now the Canes taking advantage.
Not smart from Couturier in the neutral zone, getting physical with Jordan Staal during that early Flyer push. What do I always say? If I was going against Jordan Staal, I would do everything in my power not to make him angry. I love him when he's angry.
I mean, clearly none of these people watch The Incredible Hulk. Don't make me angry. You won't like it when I am. Now Alex Bump with a shot as we return to action. That goes over the top of Anderson's net as it was defended neatly. Now loose puck, and Martone's backhand is saved by Anderson.
Oh.
Shot on the goal line. And, oh, what a save by Jacob Slavin.
Anderson got about 60% of it. That puck might have even been a third over the goal line, and Slavin saved the goal.
And now this shot is put on from an angle, and save is made as Slavin almost scores on the other end. I mean, that is just what hockey sense by Jacob Slavin. It was dancing on the goal line, and Slavin knocks it away. Now it's a chance for Ristolainen, taking the pass from Zegras, who's there to knock it away, but Slavin hauled to the loose puck up for Blake. Blake, he's going to be bumped into by Forster, but Blake's going to drag him all the way into the Flyer zone. Now for Svechnikov with a wrist shot. That goes high. Rebound out in front of Vladar's net, and Philly can skate this away. Forster, he's being bothered here by Svechnikov. Penalty coming up to Carolina. Vladar just knows it, and he'll head to the bench. 35.7 seconds left in the first, and a slashing penalty is coming the Canes' way, and they'll be shorthanded for the second time this evening.
Announcement coming. Garrett Rank announces the slash, and you know, before I get to the penalty, I mean, what a ridiculous play by Jacob Slavin. That puck was literally drifting over the goal line. Anderson had gotten a decent amount of the shot, and yes, hockey IQ, the slash was to Svechnikov. These penalties have, I'm sorry, to Jackson Blake. But for Jacob Slavin, not just to be in position, but the softest of surgical hands to slow the game down in this hostile environment and clear the puck out. I mean, that's just a brilliant defensive play.
And Staal wins the draw to the right of Anderson, and Walker sends this to length of the ice, as there's only 25 seconds remaining here in the first period. I mean, again, we see it every night. We shouldn't be in a position where we're like, how does this happen? But I'm still in the position, how does that happen with Jacob Slavin?
Do you like 4-on-4? Because you're about to see it. The Hurricanes drew an interference penalty to Jamie Drysdale.
Staal.
Interference.
Staal draws it.
Oh, the way that you can clog things up. It's your own blue line. Konechny was coming up the ice, and Jordan Staal was trying to get around Jamie Drysdale. Drysdale was coming across the blue line. That's a set play to try to create a clean power play entry. There's no doubt. Sometimes players run into each other innocently at the blue line, on a power play entry or Jordan Staal penalty killing. That was a set play. You are trying to push Jordan Staal away from the puck carrier to get a clean entry. So that is textbook interference.
Only 18 seconds of power play time for Philadelphia, so Carolina will have an abridged power play when we will get to the second period. But right now, 4-on-4, and the Canes win the draw. Walker drops this one back here. Gostisbehere, it's going to deflect to Walker. Walker with it. Taking a look, he'll get it to Aho. 8 seconds left in the period. Gostisbehere back out in front, but Aho couldn't get the blade to it. 3 seconds left. Aho centers it, goes off of a skate of Sanheim, and that's how the first period comes to a close.
Jordan Staal does it all. I think he got angry. You mentioned the Incredible Hulk after Couturier. Had some physical business at 0-0 on in the neutral zone. All the things he did before his power play goal. And I think a big story for me, Mike, as you take us to the intermission, I mentioned it a few times, including that last shift. This is the best that Shane Gostisbehere has looked so far in the playoffs. Continues like this, he will get rewarded.
Well, he got an assist on the power play goal.
He did.
There's your reward. They gave it to him. And for Carolina, a 1-0 lead after one period. Game number 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. And for Carolina, it's Jordan Staal on the power play. Coming up, Adam Gold will take us through the intermission as the Canes looking to take a 3-0 series lead over the Philadelphia Flyers. You're listening to the Stanley Cup playoffs here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Credit card. Was an awesome period for Carolina. Statistically, doesn't look too bad. And, of course, on the scoreboard, 1-0 Hurricanes on the strength of a Jordan Staal power play goal. I think the referees really got involved in this game early. Didn't think either of the first 2 power plays should have been given, but they were. Carolina capitalized on theirs. Philadelphia did not. Frederik Andersen continues to be spectacular. Travis Konechny had a great chance down the left early on. Andersen gets a little piece, then it gets the outside of of the post. Porter Martone hit the post and the crossbar combined after a turnover and a bad pass to Logan Stankoven. And then Anderson on after a Keandre Miller turnover behind his own net. Martone to bump right in front. Anderson gets across to make the save. Then we had the Staal power play goal, and Jacob Slavin doing Jacob Slavin things, saving a goal, sweeping it off the goal line after the puck had gotten through Anderson. I think Carolina a little fortunate to be 1-0 ahead, and we will take it. And, of course, because it is a power play goal, you know what happens tomorrow. Hurricanes put the biscuit in the basket. You can stop by any participating Bojangles until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Say, I'm a Caniac, and it's Bo time. Get your free Bo-Berry biscuits. Skate to hurricanes.com for rules and participating locations. Highlights are next.
You smell that? Time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Things people don't believe in. Little green aliens.
Back in game number 2, had a chance to give Philly the lead.
Long stretch pass, Konechny comes in, Anderson gets across and makes the save.
And got a piece with his blocker. That may have caught the post as well, as Konechny was able to stretch the ice. You know, he had that golden opportunity in overtime that everybody thought went wide, but Freddie got a piece of that to extend the game before Hall's winner Monday.
Yeah, the blocker wins again. And then Anderson, Porter Martone to bump in front.
Now Zegras with a good play out in front, and Mr. Anderson, how did he bump on that one? A beautiful setup by Martone.
He was a step ahead of the play that Martone was going to pass, not shoot.
Great read, and then Jordan Staal collects the puck off the wall on a Hurricanes power play.
A minute 12 left. Now Svechnikov, a little wrist shot. Staal banks it in and he scores! A power play goal! The captain at the side of the net, and the Canes have quieted the Philadelphia crowd. It's 1-0 Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina 1-for-1 on the power play, and then it could have been 1-1 were it not for Jacob Slavin.
Now loose puck, and Martone's backhand is saved by Anderson. Shot on the goal line, and what a save by Jacob Slavin.
Anderson got about 60% of it. That puck might have even been a third over the goal line, and Slavin saved the goal.
Yeah, I don't think it got quite to the goal line, but it was hovering right there, and Slavin did the rest. All right, it's 1-0 Hurricanes, and we'll talk it over with Walt Ruff next.
To us, every
Philadelphia Flyers. Game 3. If you go back to Game 3 of the Hurricanes' previous series against Ottawa, I thought the first period played out fairly similarly to this first period. Carolina scored their goal a little bit earlier. It was an even strength goal from Logan Stankoven, but Ottawa had a really good start. Carolina didn't, I wouldn't call it weathering the storm, but Ottawa was pretty good early. Carolina got the goal, quieted things. I don't think things got really quiet in Philadelphia after the Hurricanes got the goal, but of course the goal came late. And I thought Philadelphia had a lot of chances early. Konechny, Martone, Bump, all had chances. Carolina a little sloppy with the puck. I think Philadelphia's been aggressive. I thought Carolina's penalty kill on the first Philadelphia power play, absolutely spectacular. And that's where we are, because special teams has been the difference. Walt Ruff, Hurricanes.com, content maestro, wizard of the keyboards, joins us. Did you like Carolina in the first period?
I did. I think it probably wasn't their favorite period ever, but I think there was still a lot to the good. And honestly, Jacob Slavin may have been the star of the show for me. I'd wonder if you feel the same.
It's a great play to sweep that puck off the goal line. Otherwise, we're tied. It looked like Carolina was a little sloppy with the puck. The passing not crisp, and it created 3 really good early chances for Philadelphia.
Yeah, Philadelphia undoubtedly had the better of the chances early, 2 of them obviously ringing off the post, and then a huge save from Frederik Andersen on the in-tight 2-on-0. So they needed some luck in their favor early on, and they got it.
I thought in the playoffs, like, penalties were harder to come by. Power plays were harder to come by. I didn't like either of the first 2 penalties that they called. It certainly benefited Carolina. I didn't like either of the first 2.
I'm with you. It's funny, and we've obviously heard Rod Brindamore talk a lot about it recently, as he beats the drum of reviewing everything. And I think if either of those or both were reviewed, I'm not sure if either would have held up, but we digress and move forward.
Yeah, I mean, we can't review everything. I know what the head coach is saying, but I am not in favor of reviewing everything. But Carolina gets the power play goal. We had been talking about Carolina's power play, but it did everything that it does well on that power play. Obviously, Jordan Staal gets the goal, but it's all about puck retrieval for them.
Yeah, his power move down low where he bumps his guy down below the goal line and essentially allows Carolina to keep possession. That's the play that makes it right there, right? Because it's a Svechnikov shot that gets blocked and goes wide. It doesn't look like a ton initially, but he's the right spot at the right time, and that's what they needed.
Did look to me like Carolina was moving the puck quicker, and that's what I think they haven't been doing very well over the course of the last couple of games on the power play. I just think they've been a little deliberate.
I would agree. I think assertiveness is the key word that we've heard a couple times recently, and you're right. I think that the top unit knows they've got to pull their end of the rope. They've seen the power play 2 success that they've had, and obviously the Stankoven line, the success that they've had, and some of it just boils down to making quicker plays with the puck.
Walt Ruff, Hurricanes.com, content maestro, wizard of the keyboards, joining us here. Real quick, big picture, and how important Keandre Miller and Sean Walker as a tandem have been.
Oh, my goodness. I don't even know that you could put into words how good the two have been, especially in this series. I mean, I was just watching a clip from Sportsnet where they discussed how much Keandre Miller has skated through the first few games of the series, and I think it's I think it was over 6 miles alone in Game 2. Just the amount of range he displays is fantastic, and Walker is no slouch either.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes you can get too lost in the weeds and the data of things like, shot attempts and all of that, high danger chances. But when you go back and you look at the statistical profile of what Miller did, and Walker too, slightly to a lesser extent, but Miller's Game 2 was, I don't know if you can play a better game and also be involved in all 3 goals.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm even thinking about the play he made in Game 1, right? The diving back check. That was spectacular, too. So we can go on and on about the great things Keandre Miller has done thus far in the series.
All right. As always, I say this to Walt Ruff as we say goodbye. I hope I don't have to talk to you again.
The feeling is mutual, Adam Gold. Talk to you Saturday.
All right, Walt Ruff, Hurricanes.com content maestro. Hurricanes with a 1-0 lead. We'll check an NHL scoreboard. This is the only game in town, but we will set things up for you on the other side. This is the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Hey, hockey.
And Philly will be 4-on-4 for a while. Then Carolina will get like 16 seconds of power play time. Not expected to do much with that, but Carolina very good 4-on-4. But Philly can skate as well. An NHL scoreboard brought to you by Cardinal Apparel, proud partner and T-shirt provider of the Carolina Hurricanes. Of course, there are no other games. This is the only one in town tonight. Carolina's out shooting Philadelphia 9-7. The high danger scoring chances are even 4 apiece. Anaheim with a 3-1 lead last night, 3-1 win last night over Vegas has evened that series at 1 apiece. Game 3 of that series is tomorrow after Buffalo and Montreal play Game 2 of their series with the Sabres leading it 1-0 after a 4-2 win. Colorado on Saturday will be in St. Paul to take on the Wild. Avalanche have a 2-0 series lead. Mike and Tripp will have the second period. I'm Adam Gold. We'll see you after 2.
Skalko here. It is your Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network Stanley Cup playoff coverage. Live from Xfinity Mobile Arena. And in a world where AI is changing how people search and discover online, Walk West helps us and helps businesses get seen, heard, and cited. For more information about AI adoption and growth consultation services, visit walkwest.com.
4-on-4 to start this period. And for me, big stories of the first period. I loved it when Sean Couturier poked the bear that is Jordan Staal. And then all the things that he did on the only goal of the period on that Hurricanes power play. I did think that the Slavin and Chatfield pairing, aside from Slavin's goal-saving play, that they were particularly good in the opening 20.
Well, we're underway here for the second 20 minutes as the second period's underway here. 4-on-4 hockey for the next minute 10 seconds. Flyers with the puck as Forster will get a return feed here from Drysdale, but that's a little too far, and Carolina can play this one out. And it'll be scooped up there, and a chance for York to turn this one forward. He'll get it to Denver Barkey. Barkey with it. His shot doesn't get through. Blocked by Walker. Svechnikov with it now as he's out with Ehlers. 45 seconds left of 4-on-4. And Svechnikov wipes out along the left wing boards, but able to get it to Ehlers. Ehlers drops it back for Miller at his own blue line. And Miller drops it back for Svechnikov. He'll work his way around Zegras. Then he'll flip it to himself around Sealer, and now Svechnikov centering attempt for Ehlers, but that's knocked away. Zegras leading the Flyers. Konechny, his pass knocked away by Svechnikov.
Good back check from Svechnikov. Numbers for Carolina.
Now Ehlers with space and Gostisbehere. Ehlers hanging on, shoots, and that one goes off the post. And then it deflects out of play. 7 seconds left of 4-on-4, and then Carolina will get an abridged power play.
Ehlers knew he had a 2-on-1 with Gostisbehere jumping in, and I thought he really sold the shot. And Vladar stayed committed to Ehlers, the puck carrier, but Nikolai beat Vladar clean and caught the crossbar. That was a really good job. Ehlers selling the potential passing lane on the 2-on-1 to Gostisbehere. Just couldn't get the bounce. That particular net has seen 3 iron moments that Vladar's in right now. 2 for Anderson in the first, and there from Ehlers.
Well, out of the box comes Jackson Blake. So he'll join Logan Stankoven and Taylor Hall, but Stankoven flips the puck to the boards. Hall wasn't expecting it. And while this power play will have a face-off with 9 seconds remaining on it, it'll come at neutral ice.
Mike, just one thought. Svechnikov just made a really important back check. Svechnikov, took it to the net and then tried to make the extra pass prior to that back check. He had some really good shooting looks in the first period. His shot location's not there. You know what I'd do if I were Andre? I would just try to pummel it through the goaltender. Don't worry about your corners at this point, because he's missing the net on a lot of his shots, but he's getting looks. Just try to overpower the goaltender. I think that's a starting point for him when he shoots the puck here tonight.
Well, Drysdale out of the box, and Carolina puts the puck in the Philadelphia zone, but only for a moment. Waved at. And it'll be played by Carolina. Chance to clear for Slavin. Only as far as the Philadelphia blue line. Then Slavin with a magnificent play at center ice to knock it down and get it to Blake. Blake, little shot pass, goes wide of the net of Vladar. That'll be kept in for the moment by Hall, but Porter Martone able to knock it up for Zegras, and a penalty coming up to Carolina. As Martone has it inside the Canes blue line. Extra attacker on, and Blake gets a touch, but they're not going to say whistle as they'll keep it moving. Martone's shot bounces. Zegras gets to it and scores! With the extra attacker coming, Trevor Zegras found enough to get it past Frederick Anderson. We're tied at 1.
Well, delayed penalty to Carolina. And I do not believe that during the sequence that Jackson Blake had anything that would fall into the category of possession and therefore a whistle. And the shot hit a body on the way in. So Philadelphia gets the bounce they've been looking for. Hits a body on the way in and lands right on Zegras' stick, but Zegras made no mistake. It hit Emil Andre on the way in. And Zegras to the left of Anderson really got some real elevation on that puck to beat Freddie Anderson on the glove side to tie the game.
Zegras' second of the postseason. And that has awoken Xfinity Mobile Arena. As we're tied at 1. Carolina now having to control the puck in their own zone as Miller gets it up to Ehlers. Now Walker. He'll rim this one, or he'll take a hard bounce where Staal will control it. Jordan Staal, the power play goal scorer for Carolina. Back in the first period. Staal and Drysdale now get entwined. Couturier is able to bank this one forward for Garnet Hathaway. Hathaway flips it into the Kane zone. He'll try to finish off Miller, but Miller plays it around the boards. Martinuk will bounce it off the end boards, but Emil Andre is there waiting for it. He'll get it to Rasmus Ristolainen. His pass for Konechny. He'll backhand one, reached for by Forster, but taken away expertly by Jacob Slavin. Now Jarvis trying to clear, can't do it. Konechny will keep it in. Konechny, he will lose an edge in the corner. A loose puck will be chipped and over the Canes blue line. Andre, he'll retreat with it. Now handed back, Forster. Tyson Forster trying to play around Jalen Chatfield. Back to the point. Too far over the blue line. Ristolainen settles it down.
Long shift for the Aho line. Let's see if they can get off with the long second period change.
Now Chatfield banks one. They'll be able to do it here because it rolls right to Dan Vladar. Now comes Robinson. Aho goes to the bench for Jankowski. And Chatfield is going to take a hit in the corner, but he'll let Carrier come up with the puck. Will Carrier. He fights his way into the Philadelphia zone, but offside just by an inch. With 15:42 left here in the second period, this game's tied at 1.
Let's see how well the Hurricanes can manage the puck. You know, when we were here in game 81, you know, the Flyers were trying to clinch a playoff spot. The Hurricanes got off to a lead, and remember the Flyer fans were actually booing their team when they were trying to clinch a playoff spot. And the Flyers scored a couple of quick goals, and this building was electric. Brandon Bussey was the goaltender that night. I talked to him about it on the bus. You didn't have your full lineup, but, you know, Bussey said to me that, you know, how the Hurricanes reacted to the crowd going like they were should benefit the club tonight, especially at a moment like this in another second period where that Zegras goal has everybody engaged.
As play resumes here, and now Martone is going to win a skate race and get angled off the puck by Gostisbehere. The Philly crowd desperately wants another call, not going to get it. Carolina backhands this one to the Philadelphia zone, but hand pass is going to be ruled here with 15:19 remaining in the second period.
This is going to be really critical to see how the second half of regulation and change is officiated, because, you know, this crowd is something. You know, the Flyers do have an edge in power plays so far in this hockey game because I count that delayed penalty goal. So 3-2, but, you know, how the Hurricanes respond. You know, the last shift after Zegras tied it, Jarvis had a chance to clear the puck. He didn't do so. It didn't come back to bite you, but this is where you got to have some real composure, especially in the puck management facet of the game.
Offensive zone draw here for Carolina. Aho has it knocked away by Glendening, but along the right wing boards it goes, and it's going to be held in there by Jarvis. Couturier, it'll bank free, and Aho gets to it. He'll feed Miller. Miller at the left point. His shot misses everything, goes wide of the net. Banks back to the point. Walker's able to keep it in, but only shoveled high. Philadelphia second chance. They can clear it out with Konechny. Aho's going to leave it there for Jarvis. Konechny's going to get to it, and this will be knocked back into the Flyers zone. Svechnikov going after it. He and Hathaway. And now a chance for Glendening to clear, and he does. Carolina works it right back to Svechnikov. He's going to rink wide for Walker. Walker was going for a change, so loose puck, Couturier with it.
That's that puck management. You know, Svechnikov, just go north with the puck. You're making a change. It's a turnover. You don't pay the price, but go north. Be direct with the puck.
Now Jarvis takes a hit from Grundstrom. Aho serves one in the corner on Drysdale. And now Hall almost with the steal on a Michkov pass. Michkov, though, drops it back for Dvorak. And it's Denver Barkey. Barkey has it taken away by Jackson Blake. And the Canes get it out.
You might want to really lean on Slavin's ice time here tonight, the way he's playing.
Now a cross-ice pass will be settled down by Jackson Blake. Blake, he'll roll for it. Played away from Barkey. Carolina trying to get to it, but chipped out over their blue line.
I'd be comfortable with Slavin in regulation in the mid-20s tonight, the way he's playing. That's why you've held his minutes back in the regular season. and at times in the playoffs, so he can play more in overtime games like Game 2 and games like tonight.
Now Hall deflects a pass for Stankoven. He'll snap a shot away, and Vladar gets the arm to it and knocks it over the high glass and the netting, and then a little extra in the corner with Stankoven as he and Sanheim got to know each other a little bit better. 13:30 left here in the second period. You're listening to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Game number 3, tied at 1 here in the second period on the Hurricanes Radio Network. The next watch party is happening on Saturday at the Cary location. If you can't join them in Cary, stop by any Carolina Ale House to cheer on the Canes with your fellow Caniacs. Carolina Ale House, exclusive sponsor of the Canes playoff watch parties. 13:30 to go here in the second, tied at 1 in game number 3. Trip Tracy.
Well, the razor-thin lines of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Nikolai Ehlers hits the crossbar, would have been 2-0. You know, bounce not your way, and then a bounce off bump in front, and Zegras converts to tie the game. I mean, those are the razor-thin lines.
As we get back to action, Carolina trying to chip this one into the Flyer zone. Carrier, he's getting involved along the boards with Sealer. Philadelphia will move the puck up, and a shot by Dvorak will be blocked. That's Gostisbehere slow getting to his skates, but he does, and then Dvorak with a rebound, and Anderson makes a good save, and Carolina clears it out to center.
Gostisbehere is trying to struggle to get to the bench. He's got to stay on the ice. He paid a price with that block. It was a good one.
Now Nikishin, he's lined up by Forster. He saw it coming and stepped out of the way, but Ristolainen able to keep it in at the blue line. His shot soared into the corner. Dvorak will lose the handle. Nikishin off the glass and out.
Gostisbehere still on the ice. It looked like a thigh block. It looks like he's moving a little bit better than he was a second ago.
Now Zegras, the goal scorer for Philadelphia, but he hits the deck. Ice is slippery, and Carolina coming the other way. It's Martinuk. He'll take it into the corner, trying to go around Sanheim. Ristolainen, he's going to give it away to Ehlers. Ehlers, backhand pass, a chance with a shot that gets through by Walker, but it'll be deflected, and then Zegras is going to bump this out to Bump. Alex Bump trying to work around Ehlers, and then he'll crash into Anderson. No whistle, will keep everything going.
Really good defensive play from Ehlers.
Now Martone is with the intercept. Bump dusts it off and misses the net completely as Anderson got in his way.
Anderson had just gotten up after the collision. Didn't have the stick in a square position, but still battled to make a great save. Well, he is dealing with the physicality, Freddie Anderson, that Philadelphia is trying to employ. He's dealing with it really well.
Now Martone, he drops the stick as he saw Miller coming, wanted no part of that. Worked around to the point, kept in by Drysdale. His shot blocked, settled down by Miller, and he'll get it out. Now a feed for Svechnikov into the Flyer zone, a quick shot, and a blocker save made there by Vladar. Side of the net it comes. Aho trying to get to it. Now we're going to get a penalty. Slashing is the call, and Carolina will go back on the power play.
But that's a huge save from Anderson. after
penalty number 9 is a 2-minute minor slashing.
You hear the Kyle Raymond slashing announcement. The Aho line drew the penalty. But there was a collision. There wasn't anything wrong from bump. Ehlers had made a really good defensive play. Contact was avoidable. Freddie's stick was actually turned over because he grabbed it after he lost it as a result of the collision and still made a great save on Martone. And Martone just tried to outweigh him. So after Anderson delivers the good, back comes Carolina. The Aho lines Svechnikov to work on the forecheck, and you draw a slashing penalty. So what was the key component to your eventual power play goal from the captain in the first period? Winning the initial power play draw clean. Let's see if he can do it again.
Carolina's third power play. Staal wins the draw, comes across Svechnikov. His shot is going to be blocked by York. Up for Couturier, and he'll be sent back in. And the penalty was to Drysdale, not Couturier. And now Sanheim gets run into, which last time I checked, you're allowed to have a check in hockey, as Jarvis came all the way back to make sure Sanheim didn't get a clean look.
Yeah, that was as clean of a physical play. You don't like to give up the short-handed chance, but Jarvis at the hash marks in his own end.
Now Svechnikov with it in the Philadelphia zone. Makes a move around Couturier. Hands it to Ahos beneath the goal line. Up the left wing boards for Gostisbehere. Right back down. Svechnikov goes rink wide, but too far. Over the blue line it goes. Ehlers had to trap it, and Carolina has to tag up.
Svechnikov just looks like he wants it so badly. Just got to slow his mind down. He just missed that pass by quite a bit.
Now Ehlers with some room. He'll drop it back. Gostisbehere walks the blue line. He'll hand it off. Carolina with 54 seconds left on the man advantage. Gostisbehere with it. He'll get it to Ehlers, top of the left wing circle, drifting in. His shot gets through. Now a chance out in front. Svechnikov one-hands it, and that's just wide. Vladar waved at it on the way by. Kept in by Carolina. Gostisbehere to the middle of the rink, walking the blue line. Now Ehlers goes across. Aho with it. Aho, goal line extended to the left of Vladar. Back up for Gostisbehere, and he tried to make a play with a toe drag and knocked it out over the blue line. Carolina's going to change up some players here. Stankoven with it, but he's offside with 21 seconds remaining in the Canes power play.
And that power play group starts with Staal, then Ehlers comes on, and the steadfast guys are Svechnikov, Jarvis, Aho, Shane Gostisbehere. They do look more comfortable tonight. Now, that was a pretty good looking power play. You know, really, the Philadelphia had one or two clears. The one was because Svechnikov missed on an errant pass, but you can see some growth from that group and those players that I mentioned, not just on the power play, but at even strength tonight.
Puck is dropped. Stankoven bumps it forward. He'll get some help here from Blake. Blake whips it across. Hall with a shot. Save Vladar. He came out to the edge of his blue paint to challenge that, and Philly to the rebound. We'll flip this back into the Kane zone, and that should just about do it. And a penalty to Drysdale. Now up the boards, it's Hall. Hall, he'll take a bump from Ristolainen to get it in deep, and then it'll be given away by Zegras, but back to full strength is Philadelphia. Carolina now 1 for 3 on the man advantage. Now behind the net the puck goes. It'll work its way around the boards. Hall shoves it back into the corner. Stankoven comes up with it. His pass for Blake, though, bounces off of the Canes winger's skate. Philly trying to clear. Drysdale can't. Finally, it's popped out over the blue line, and oh, a massive hit by Walker on Bump.
And Bump's the guy that collided with Freddie Anderson. That was as clean as the day is long. Timekeeper's box right at the center red line. Boy, Walker's capable of just that.
Now Staal with it. A couple of strides in the flyer zone, trying to feed Carrier. Vladar moves it away, but right to Martinook. Jordan Martinook back to the point. Chatfield. He goes high to low for Carrier. Emile Andre with a nice read. Gets it up for Grundstrom, and it makes it over the blue line by about a foot. Carolina can roll it back in. Chatfield. He gave pressure for Andre, who's now going to give it away for Svechnikov. Svechnikov, centering attempt out in front. That's knocked down. Sanheim, good job to work it up for Konechny. 8:05 remaining here in the second period. 1-1 game. Slavin trying to play around Denver Barkey. He does. Up for Aho. Sebastian Aho with it now. Through center ice, into the Flyer zone. Drop for Svechnikov, across for Jarvis. Jarvis' shot hits a leg, and Vladar will get a whistle with 7:50 left in the second period. Carolina, Philadelphia, tied at 1 here in the second period in game number 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. You're listening to the Stanley Cup playoffs on the Hurricanes Radio Network. Hurricanes Radio Network.
Tight hockey game. For me, virtually every chance that the Flyers have gotten has come off of a Hurricanes turnover. So I mentioned puck management, playing with composure, making hard plays a few minutes ago. If the Hurricanes in the second half of regulation can manage the puck, easier said than done, but they're going to win the game. Yeah, all the Flyers' chances have come off of Carolina turnovers.
Well, as you said, easier said than done, but something that this team does well. Carrier has to take the draw. And it's worked into the corner to the left of Vladar, and Emil Andre will chip it, but not out. Walker keeps it in off the boards for Robinson. Robinson centering it for Jankowski. He flips one, and a bit of a knuckleball kicked at by Vladar, but it went wide. Now Carolina trying to keep the puck pursuit on, but Andre with it again. Goes up the boards, kept in again by Carolina. Walker, but sent across for Denver Barkey, and Philly can clear it out. Grundstrom with a net drive, and the shot put through by Michkov, saved by Anderson. Puck into the corner. Canes want to clear it out, can't. Kept in. Excellent stick, and I think Miller just got clipped with a high stick, and a call is going to come to Philadelphia as they touch the puck.
Yeah, it's Trevor Zegras. He was right off the bench and would have had a good chance if the Hurricanes in the interior of the Carolina zone did not have good sticks. So you come up with a good stick on the ice defensively as Zegras is lunging for a puck. And it's Keandre Miller who denies Zegras, just starting his shift, an opportunity to score his second goal of the period. Miller's stick was on the ice. Once Zegras lunges for that puck and doesn't gather it because of the stick of Keandre Miller, his stick comes up and clips Keandre Miller in the face. So the marvelous work of Keandre Miller continues. Rod's going to start with the Keandre Miller group. Even with Nikishin back in the lineup, Keandre is going to stay on this power play group.
It's another Powerball power play, fourth of the evening for Carolina. And now Hall trying to fight for it behind the net. This is going to be whipped all the way around, and Miller is going to get to it after it's left there for the Canes defenseman by Frederik Andersen. So the Canes are 1 for 3 tonight. Jordan Staal banked one in from Andrei Svechnikov back in the first period. Now the Canes back into the Flyer zone. Loose puck reached for, then knocked away by Glendening with a high stick all the way down. Anderson's going to play it though. Off the boards and away from Couturier. And 45 seconds have elapsed on this power play chance for Carolina. And a chance here to get back into the zone. Hall drops it back for Ehlers. He'll go across. Blake from Miller. Now it's Ehlers. Ehlers diving down, now back for Keandre Miller at the top of the left wing circle. Now Blake. He'll get it back to Miller. Now Ehlers, but his pass wanted to go right back to Miller. Read by Dvorak, and he will flip this back into the Kane zone, and Carolina will send the Aho unit out.
Fine play by Dvorak, who was a game-time decision, health-wise, at the end of his penalty-killing shift. This group coming on now, I think, has been the more dangerous of the two power play groups tonight for Carolina.
Now they'll get the puck in the Philadelphia zone. Aho can't play it around Hathaway, but a good play by Jarvis to get it to Gostisbehere. Now Jarvis at the slot, chops in one, save Vladar, rebound. Ehlers goes across looking for Aho, too far. Aho to the puck, 20 seconds left on the power play. Ehlers with it, back to Gostisbehere. He's got a little off-speed shot handled there by Vladar. Rebound to Ehlers. Ehlers back across, Svechnikov's shot blocked out in front. And that'll get a whistle and an extra shove here. Ristolainen on Jarvis. Sealer had the initial block with 7 seconds left in the penalty to Trevor Zegras.
One-timer, and Sealer not only came up with the block, Velcro, that puck just disappeared in his Flyer paraphernalia, and that's what got the whistle. He took it in the midsection, did Sealer, and went immediately down. Dan Vladar gives him a big tap. That was a big block, because had it gotten through, would have been a testy shot. And Seth Jarvis, had it gotten through, was alone in front of Dan Vladar. So that's a big block from Sealer.
7 seconds left on the power play. Stahl's going to take the draw against Couturier and win it. Now it's Chatfield. He takes aim. That goes high and wide. Staal with a rebound. And the power play is over. Zegras comes out of the ice. And you got to be cautious here that he doesn't sneak behind the defense. Carolina reads the play as Chatfield hustled back. Up for Martinook. Back into the Flyers zone. Staal goes into the corner. He'll play it out for Carrier. Carrier. He'll get one that's directed high into the air, and it'll be pawed down by the Flyers. Couturier with it now. He's bothered by Carrier, and Martinook will get to the loose puck. Carrier. He'll leave it here for Staal. Zegras dives on the ice, and about 19,000 referees think that's a penalty. It's not. 4.5 to go here in the second period. Carolina sends it behind the Philadelphia net. And the Flyers will just settle things down. Up the boards, not out. And then Hall, that's going to be a penalty as he runs into Sanheim, and Sanheim's hurt. And Zegras wants a piece of him. 4:12 left here. There's a hard hit along the boards. Hall's going to the box for it. Sanheim's up. He doesn't need any medical attention. Although
Sanheim lost his footing and was on his way down after Taylor Hall had already committed to the hit. You hope that Sanheim's okay, but this is not a penalty. Sanheim, I don't know if he toe-picked. He had just played the puck. So the point of contact ended up being a lot lower than it would have been after Hall had already, Sanheim with the puck on his tape, had committed to delivering the hit.
All right, we'll step aside. The officials are having a conference right now. 4:12 left in the second period. It's a 1-1 game. Philadelphia and Carolina here in the Stanley Cup playoffs, game 3 of the second round.
The penalty, it will now be reviewed.
They're announcing a 5-minute penalty. They're going to review it.
I think they'll take it off the board. That's the right thing to do, to review it. I think absolutely when you have the ability to review it, this is a case you should.
Well, we will find out what the verdict is. You're listening to Canes Playoff Hockey on the Hurricanes Radio Network. the Eastern Conference playoffs, and the officials are still deliberating on whether or not it's a 5-minute major for Taylor Hall's hit to Travis Sanheim.
I think that it's a no penalty. And the reason I say that is Sanheim, puck was on his stick, and he went to play it, and then he toe picked, lost his footing in some fashion, so the point of contact ended up being about a foot lower because Sanheim went that much lower to the ice. Otherwise, it would have been puck carrier, shoulder to shoulder. It wouldn't have been from behind. And so there is nothing Taylor Hall can do once he's committed to the hit to anticipate that Sanheim is going to lose his footing and be that much lower to the ice.
Well, here comes the announcement from Kyle Raymond.
71 Carolina, 2-minute minor boarding.
I truthfully, I get it. You move about this penalty kill, but I think that's the easy way out here in the Philadelphia building, because I feel strongly that it's not a penalty based upon the fact that Sanheim, no intent, he just lost his footing. The point of contact was far lower, so you can understand. I mean, boarding is because of a player that goes violently into the boards, and the reason he did is because he lost his footing. But you got to go about killing it off.
It's the third power play of the night for the Philadelphia Flyers. Staal will fight for it with Couturier. It'll come free, but a diving play made here by Martinook, and Staal sprung in. Staal across for Chatfield, and he scores! Shorthanded! Jalen Chatfield has put Carolina in the lead. His first of the playoffs in Carolina goes up 2-1.
Partners, the captain having a night. Has he ever been special in both special teams departments? It was a real battle for the Philadelphia power play faceoff. It's Martinook that makes the play at his own blue line to even give Staal a chance. And Staal, his speed was not going to allow him to create a partial breakaway. So right before he got the puck, he took a look out of his left eye and saw that Jalen Chatfield was available. And also Jalen Chatfield, a righty on the left side of the ice. Perfect spot to one-time the puck. What a play by the two captains, Martinook and then Jordan Staal, to find Jalen Chatfield. And we have just gone to Chatmandu for the lead.
My goodness. The team that had 12 shorthanded goals in the regular season gets their first this postseason. And if you're the Carolina Hurricanes, you have quieted the crowd here in Philly. And now the duo known for scoring shorthanded goals. Seth Jarvis with it. He'll come in front. Vladar makes the save, and a penalty coming up as Aho fed Jarvis, and then Philly takes a penalty. And now we're going back and forth as Konechny tries to sell. He got high stick by Seth Jarvis in the corner after the play.
Is Jarvis going to get a penalty to even this up? They're signaling like he's headed to the box too. He drew a penalty, turning Drysdale, going to the front of the net. It will be a hold. And then in comes Konechny, finishes Jarvis. Jarvis eventually whacks Konechny with his stick, so he's probably going to get a slash.
But he got him in the chest.
But it was in the. It was right on the A, the alternate captain A on Konechny's jersey, but Konechny still grabbed his chin. This is going to be one of these that Konechny got his money's worth, won't be penalized, and Jarvis will probably get a retaliatory.
Number 9 is a 2-minute minor for holding. Carolina, number 24, 2-minute minor, high sticking. We will continue to play 5-on-4. 2-minute power play remains for Philadelphia.
That's a tough break. But, you know, it's something that Rod Brennan, that wasn't a scrum. Play was actually going on. But so far in these Stanley Cup playoffs, Mike, you might as well be the first guy in, because typically you're not going to get a penalty. Konechny could have gotten a penalty. And the second guy is always, I mean, Jarvis's stick did not need to come up.
Well, he could get a Golden Globe.
And for me, the 3 or 4 looks, it looked like Jarvis's stick hit the A, signifying alternate captain. And he and Travis Konechny, from their Team Canada experiences, they know each other quite well. So the Flyers stay on the power play. That's a tough break, period, for the Hurricanes. Now, Jarvis's stick did not need to come up. Heck of a job drawing the penalty in the first place. And, I mean, what more can this Carolina penalty kill do? What more?
Score another one.
Stingy, and now I'll go.
Light conduct.
Hang on, did they just tap Rod Brindamore with a 2-minute unsportsmanlike? Oh, that's... Yeah.
Well, it's now going to...
Now is it a 5-on-3?
It would result in that.
Oh, you can't do that with what's on the line in a circumstance like this. You can't do that. You got to give a veteran head coach some leash.
Well, Jackson Blake is going to serve it.
You can't do that. I mean, yes, was Rod Vocal on the bench? But you're giving a team a 1 minute and 15-second 5-on-3. After Taylor Hall's penalty, in my opinion, shouldn't even have been a minor penalty. Well, that's crazy.
Well, it's 5-on-3. Penalty killers have got to go to work here. Zegras is shot blocked by Chatfield. Staal gets to the puck, and he'll send it all the way down on Vladar.
Remember the 5-on-3 in Game 3 in Ottawa in the second period. Critical piece to winning that game. You've got this game potentially on the line here as well in a 5-on-3.
Staal banks it out again. 50 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Carolina leads 2-1 here in Game 3. They lead the series 2-0. Zegras with it now. He'll drop it back. Sent out for Forster. Forster will get it to Zegras at the top of the right circle. Back to Forster. Back to Zegras. Set it up. Couturier has his pass blocked. Walker all over the place. Martone can't get to it because Slavin does and sends it down the ice.
Super play from Sean Walker. He's had a heck of a period.
And now there's 15 seconds left on the 5-on-3. Konechny with it. He'll go behind the net for Forster. Forster back for Konechny to Martone. Porter Martone looking, his shot elevated above the net of Anderson.
I think Anderson got a piece, partner.
Hall's about to come out of the penalty box. Philly moving it across. Big save by Anderson on Forster. 5-on-4 now for 40 seconds. Aho with Miller. Forster lost his stick. Carolina can punch this out, but it's kept in. Redirected out in front, and Anderson makes the save and gets the whistle.
Boy, the team is galvanized for their head coach. I got to settle myself down just like these 3 penalty killers and their goaltender have done a super job with 28 seconds to go. Because that is bush league in the playoffs. Questionable calls. You got to give a coach more leash. It'd be one thing if you were at even strength. I still think you got to give him leash. But when you're giving a team well over a minute of 5-on-3, that is just wrong. Let's see if the Hurricanes can finish it off.
Oh, Jankowski wins the draw. Chatfield hammers it, but it went off of Martinook. So fortunate bounce for the Flyers. Ristolainen. He'll move it. Michkov. Center around. Diving play. Dvorak is going to get to it as Nikishin knocked it off center. Jankowski loses his stick, but uses his hand to paw it back behind the net. Now Michkov. His pass deflected by Nikishin. York gets to it. Sent around the boards. 3 seconds left in the unsportsmanlike penalty to the bench. And now a chance that's going to be saved as York lets it go. Anderson gets a shoulder, and the Canes penalty killers do the job, and it's a 2-on-1 right now. Blake and Martinook. Blake looking it off. Blake drags, goes across, and Martinook has it go right off of his blade, and Philly's going to come back the other way.
What a kill. Get to that next whistle.
1:05 left here in the second period. Hall with it now. Taylor Hall. He'll drift. His shot blocked by Sanheim. Hall bounces it to Blake. It'll go back to Hall. Miller now in over the blue line. Back for Hall. Hammers one. And Vladar got a shoulder to it and deflected it over the high glass into the netting behind him.
Boy, the Hurricanes not only came up with that 5-on-3 and then 5-on-4 kill. We've got a scrum going on at center ice right now. But then Jackson Blake nearly finds Jordan Martinook to extend the lead, and then Keandre Miller once you return to even strength, another really good opportunity. I mean, you're in a hostile environment, Mike. You shouldn't have been killing a 5-on-3. What a job that was.
2 minutes, roughing.
Now Dvorak is going to the box for roughing, as you just heard out of that scrum at center ice.
Did the Flyers get what you would consider a good opportunity on that 5-on-3?
No.
The answer is no. Did the Ottawa Senators, and what did they have, 3 or 4 5-on-3s in the first round? Did they even get a good opportunity out of all those 5-on-3s? I think the answer is no. To be able to do what Carolina just did, I know the Flyers' power play is not elite, but that's elite. You know, there wasn't, you know, the one save Anderson made through traffic, I mean, it was a quality save. Then he made a blocker save, but nothing extraordinary. That is just sensational A-plus penalty killing.
That's another power play for Carolina, but Philadelphia wins the draw. They're able to knock this one back into the Kane zone. Staal will head to the bench for Nikolai Ehlers. Gostisbehere. He'll knock this one back to his blue line for Aho. Aho hands it off for Jarvis into the Flyer zone. 30 seconds left in the period. We'll keep track of that timer, as there's more time left in the penalty. Hopefully the Canes won't need to carry this over to the third period. 20 seconds left. Aho with it. Goal line extended to the left. Wanted to feed Svechnikov. Nicely blocked by Sealer, but the Canes hang on to the puck. Gostisbehere. Jarvis trying to go across for Ehlers. That's deflected off of the glass. Up the boards, and a good play by Couturier, and that will end the second period. A shorthanded goal by Jalen Chatfield. His first of the postseason in Carolina. They survived a early goal from Trevor Zegras to go into the locker room with a 1-goal lead. Coming up, Adam Gold will give you the highlights of a second period that got feisty. Canes lead the Flyers 2-1 after 2. You're listening to the Stanley Cup playoffs here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Hurricanes, after 2 periods, they got to stop calling penalties, people. Let's see, Trevor Zegras on a great rebound try with the puck kind of between his skates. Awkward angle, tough angle as well. Made it 1-1 early in the period after Nick Ehlers hit the post on a 2-on-1. He was off with Shane Gostisbehere. And then Carolina, in a very odd sequence, Taylor Hall's called for boarding. I'm not even sure it was a penalty. They originally called it a 5-minute major. They reduced it to a 2-minute minor. And then Carolina, I don't know if they won the faceoff as much as they won the puck after the faceoff. And Jordan Staal fed Jalen Chatfield for a shorthanded goal that gave Carolina a 2-1 lead. Right after that, Carolina has another shorthanded try. Jamie Drysdale ends up holding Seth Jarvis. after the whistle, he and Travis Konechny get together. Konechny checks him after the whistle. Jarvis's stick comes up and clips him. And Jarvis is the only one that got a penalty. Carolina killed off a minute 12 of 5-on-3. It's almost 5 minutes of 5-on-3 power play time against for Carolina in the playoffs so far without allowing a goal. In fact, they've only allowed 2 shots on goal, 3 shots on goal, because I think Philadelphia had 1. But here we are. Carolina will go back on the power play to start the third period, and we'll listen to highlights next. Gives us this intermission report, powering the future with professional-grade battery tools. Built for real-world work, I am Adam Gold Hurricanes with a 2-1 lead, and it is time for second period highlights. And as always, those are brought to you by Spectrum. That's right, Spectrum. It's how we watch TV in my house. It's only the way TV should be. It's only everything. Learn more, Spectrum. TV.com. Nick Ehlers, Shane Gostisbehere 2-on-1 early in the second.
Leading the Flyers, Konechny. His pass knocked away by Svechnikov.
Good back check from Svechnikov. Numbers for Carolina.
Now Ehlers with space and Gostisbehere. Ehlers hanging on, shoots, and that one goes off the post. And then it deflects out of play.
Yeah, somehow the puck then gets redirected out in front. Bump is there and has a grade A chance.
Now Martone is with the intercept. Bump, dusted off and misses the net completely as Anderson got in his way.
Anderson had just gotten up after the collision. Didn't have the stick in a square position, but still battled to make a great save. Well, he is dealing with the physicality, Freddie Anderson, that Philadelphia is trying to employ. He's dealing with it really well.
I mean, I don't know. With all the penalties we've seen called, Freddie Anderson gets trucked. No call. It is remarkable. Carolina, shorthanded, doesn't matter.
It's the third power play of the night for the Philadelphia Flyers. Staal will fight for it with Couturier. It'll come free, but a diving play made here by Martinook, and Staal sprung in. Staal across for Chatfield, and he scores! Short-handed! Jalen Chatfield has put Carolina in the lead. His first of the playoffs in Carolina goes up 2-1.
Captain having himself a night with a power play goal and a shorthanded assist, and that's where we are. We will talk things over with Ryan Henkel, Hockey News, next.
For almost a decade, the Hurricanes have trusted
2-1 in favor of the Hurricanes. We got 20 minutes to go. Hopefully that's all Carolina will need to take a 3-0 series lead. Ryan Henkel, Hockey News, joining us here on the Intermission Report. All right, just broad picture, what do you think of Carolina so far through 40 minutes?
I like the way they kind of responded. I think early, the Flyers had that nice push. They've had some good chances, but I think Carolina's done a really good job kind of weathering that and settling in their game as much as they can with the frequency of penalties here as of late. But I think Carolina's really kind of settling into more of a flow here.
Can we explain? Did the referees get the idea that the playoffs have started? We're calling a lot of really garbage calls, I think. No?
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of a lot of what's being called here. Some interesting officiating, but I don't know. It feels like that's become the normal for the new normal for the NHL, unfortunately, in this day and age.
I mean, then Rod Brindamore gets a bench minor for arguing. I don't understand how Travis Konecny gets nothing for checking Seth Jarvis after the whistle, which caused the high stick. I don't understand that, which is clearly what Rod was complaining about. But apparently Carolina's better at 5-on-3 or 3-on-5 than any other team in the history of the sport.
Yeah, I mean, just that shorthanded goal, I think even just before that coming up, what great work by Barnett getting that clear, and then Jordo and Chatty just kind of get on their wheels and take it down. But then, like you said, the 5-on-3 kill, there's just a bunch of guys committed to doing it the right way. I thought Alexander Nikishin, too, was exceptional towards the end of the penalty, too. When he became a 5-on-4, he was all over the place, and he's looking really good so far, inserted back into the lineup.
So 5 different times Carolina's been 2 men down. 4 minutes and 51 seconds, 4 shots on goal allowed, no goals. That seems pretty good. Right now, I guess you can boil this game down to special teams.
Oh, say one more time. A lot of background noise here.
You can boil this game down to special teams. I mean, that's produced both of Carolina's goals.
Yeah, I mean, a lot been made about that top power play unit coming into this one, and they got that early goal. Jordo gets a good bounce off the end boards, and then like I said, the penalty kill's just been so good for so long, and it's good that they finally get one. They've had a couple opportunities for some shorthanded ones. We've been waiting for one, and they finally converted. But yeah, like you said, special teams has been huge for Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, the special teams actually also created the goal for Philadelphia. I don't remember the penalty, the delayed penalty they were going to call on Blake. It was probably garbage because most of the penalties have been terrible tonight that they have called. I didn't think Christian Dvorak deserved a penalty for what he did to Taylor Hall. I don't even understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to gain control of a game that they have already lost control of.
That was a gamesmanship call if I've ever seen one.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. So third period, I thought Carolina's had a little trouble managing the puck in this game and creating some opportunities that they don't really need to create for Philadelphia because they're really trying to counterpunch their way through this game. What is your idea for Carolina entering the third?
I think the key is just going to be limiting the middle of the ice in the neutral zone. I think early on when the Flyers were really pushing, they were getting a lot of space in the middle and through the neutral zone. If Carolina gets back to kind of body sticks getting in the way, kind of limiting those chances, they'll have a really good job of locking it down and maybe even creating those turnovers going the other way if they can get the neutral zone more sorted out.
Yeah, they've, again, I thought, just some curious plays. The passing still hasn't been crisp. If Carolina can get out of this one to be able to maybe, get to a 3-0 series lead with still not playing an offensive game almost at any point in this series would be remarkable. What have you seen from Frederik Andersen other than more of the same?
That's pretty much it. It's more of the same. I mean, steady Freddie. He's been really, really good in the net tonight. I think back to that Alex Bump chance to potentially take the lead and just outweighted him. The patience, the poise, he's everything for Carolina right now. And it's just if he can keep that up, hey, be good. A good run for this one.
Was it curious to you that they ran into Fred? That wasn't called of all the stuff that they have called tonight. That you're allowed to just skate right into the goalie and that's okay.
Listen, Adam, you're asking me to adjudicate NHL officiating, and that is that's like trying to bail water with a hole in the pail.
I hate complaining about this because, I really think that like in the first period, they shouldn't have called any penalties, and they called 4. And I just don't understand what I'm watching. I wanted to watch playoff hockey, but these guys have decided. I just let it go. Take the whistles and throw them away. Let's watch a third period at 5-on-5. Ryan Hinkle, Hockey News. I hate to bring you on and complain about the officiating. Next time, we won't talk about it at all. I promise. Thanks, man. I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
Ryan Hinkle, Hockey News. I mean, it's terrible. It's just awful officiating in the game, and I'm not saying that it's bad, like in favor of Carolina or in favor of. It's been bad both ways. Let these two teams play hockey, and I think we'll enjoy it a lot more than all the stops and starts. All right, we have a check of the NHL scoreboard. Again, this is the only game in town, but we'll set you up for the rest of the week, the rest of the night, tomorrow, the weekend, all of that. After these words from your local stations on the Carolina Hurricanes Radio Network.
Come to Atlantic Spas. And billiards for playoff savings. Specials.
The Flyers intermission report.
Adam Gold, inside our network studios. The Hurricanes will have a little bit more than a minute of power play time left to start the third period. Hey, a power play goal would be awesome to get a 2-goal lead in this one. But honestly, I just want the penalties to stop. I want to see 5-on-5 play. I'll take that over the next 20 minutes, actually, after, I guess, the power play expires. Let's check in NHL Scoreboard, brought to you by Lenovo, official technology partner of the Carolina Hurricanes. Hey, this is the only game in town tonight. The Hurricanes, with goals from Jordan Staal and Jalen Chatfield, one on the power play, one shorthanded, has given Carolina a 2-1 lead. Tomorrow, Anaheim and Vegas in Anaheim, with that series tied at 1. Vegas was a home loser in Game 2 last night, 3-1. Ducks actually had a 3-0 lead before Mark Stone scored in the dying seconds. Buffalo won Game 1 of their series with Montreal. Game 2 tomorrow night back in Buffalo. They win it 4-2 yesterday. And then we got to wait till Saturday for Game number 3, Colorado at Minnesota. The Wild looking to scratch in the series. Avs up 2-0. Carolina looking to take a 3-0 lead in the series. Got to close this one out and play a good, smart third. I am Adam Gold, and I will see you after the game.
To us, every moment matters.
third period here at Xfinity Mobile Arena. Carolina will have 1:10 on the power play. They will try to get their second power play goal and extend their lead as they are up 2-1 after 40 minutes alongside Trip Tracy. Mike Maniscalco here on your Hurricanes Radio Network.
Well, my biggest takeaway through 2 periods is the leadership of Captain Jordan Staal. You know, the power play goal in the first period. And then when things got dicey there in the second, that 1:15 span of a 5-on-3. I mean, you had everybody doing their part, and then, of course, when he sets up the shorthanded goal. But, I mean, that is true leadership from Carolina's stellar captain going into this third period tonight.
Third period now underway. Carolina moving the puck. Drop back for Gostisbehere. They'll find their way in the Flyers zone. Now it's Jarvis at the left point. Aho inside the blue line in the middle of the rink. Slid down here for Gostisbehere down the right wing boards. Gostisbehere taking a look. He'll peel it off. Svechnikov hands on his pass. And the Flyers will send this one down. Sanheim put some token pressure. Anderson will slow it up, and there's 35 seconds left in the man advantage here. Gostisbehere drops it for Ehlers. Ehlers over the Flyers logo through the middle of the rink. Dropped here for Aho down the right wing boards. He's got options. He'll go back to Gostisbehere, the point. He'll move it to the middle, back to Aho. Aho looking for the redirect from Svechnikov. He'll miss that, but Ehlers to the rebound. Ehlers with it now. He'll backhand one for Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere back for Ehlers. 9 seconds left. His shot doesn't miss by much as Vladar waved the glove at it. Now it comes right back for Ehlers, top of the left wing circle. His shot is blocked. Aho wants to get to it. Out of the box comes Dvorak. And another power play that comes up empty for Carolina, but a couple of good looks. And Philly ices the puck here with 18:44 left in the third.
Partner Nikolai Ehlers has been really close to scoring all night long. Hit that crossbar at 1-0 right before Zegras tied it in the second period and just missed on the glove side to extend the lead to 3-1. Now that it's gotten back to even strength, the most critical piece for the Hurricanes is going to be, can they avoid turning the puck over here with a 1-goal lead on the road here in this third period? If they do manage it properly, easier said than done, their chances of winning go way up.
Offensive zone draw. It'll bounce around and find Nick Seeler in a Flyers uniform, and he'll send it back to the Canes blue line. DeAndre Miller. He'll get it to Martinook. Martinook absorbs a hit, but gets it in deep for Staal. Staal leaves it for Carrier, which is customary after a power play where Nick Ehlers has been on it. Nikolai Ehlers will stay on the bench as the Staal line gets the bump up, and now we've got a magical moment of a rugby scrum in the corner. They'll keep it moving, and Carolina will move it out. Miller with it. Miller turns. His shot blocked as Michkov got in front of it. Ristolainen can't get it out. Second opportunity, and the Flyers will get it to Travis Konechny. Konechny over the blue line of the Canes, and his shot is directed away by Anderson. Goes off the glass. It'll take a bounce. Fortunate for the Canes.
It seems like every time Konechny's had a shooting opportunity in this series, he's constantly gone after the blocker side. Something just happened behind
Miller
the play.
and Konechny behind the play. I think they're both going.
Yeah, I think it's going to be another 4-on-4 sequence. Announcement coming.
Carolina penalty number 19, 2 minutes roughing. Philadelphia penalty number 22, 2 minutes roughing.
That's Dvorak stepping in for Konechny. DeAndre was certainly deserving of his minor, and I don't think Konechny would have headed to the box himself, and it's Dvorak jumping in to grab Miller that really did the Hurricanes a favor to make this a 4-on-4. You know, this is game 3, but I'm thinking about game 4 in Ottawa. Things got dicey like they did in the second period here tonight. The Hurricanes, I think, showed such graduating steps with keeping their emotions in check. And that's the mental toughness that I think you can only learn, that is particularly necessary on the road when you lived all these experiences.
Yeah.
And that's going to be central to getting this thing to the house. That mental toughness, whistle to whistle. Do not take any unnecessary penalties. And like I said, avoiding turning over the puck, because it seems like the vast majority of the Flyers' chances, partner, have been off of Carolina turnovers.
Yep. 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes. Carolina wins the draw. Nikishin with it. He'll turn inside the Flyers' blue line, trying to create some offense, but he'll be stripped of the puck by Couturier. And Philly, a long pass Couturier for Forster, shut right on, and Anderson shuts the door. He'll get a whistle.
This is a 4-on-4, but what Forrester just did, remember Konechny's chance from Forrester at 0-0 early in the first period? That's what the Flyers are going to do. They are going to send guys, even when they don't have possession in their own end. You know, and Rick Tocchet said it best after game 2, where his team played a really good hockey game, is that when they do that, they're going to create 2 or 3 partial or flat-out breakaways a night. So can the Hurricanes be prepared for a guy flying up the ice like Philadelphia repeatedly does?
Now Zegras tries to win the draw, but Carolina's Aho will come out with it. And now it's Aho and Jarvis are going to create a mini 2-on-1. Jarvis, his backhand pass deflected away. Ristolainen, he'll step into Aho before he can get to the puck. And the Flyers in possession now. It's Zegras. He'll skate the mail out to center ice, then he'll turn away from Aho. Aho heads to the bench. Zegras with another turn. Trying to play away from Blake. He'll lose it to Ehlers. And now Carolina can work it. And Slavin drops it back. Nikolai Ehlers with speed through the neutral zone. Into the Flyers end. Ehlers tees one up, and Vladar gets a piece, and that one goes over the top of the net. Oh, Ehlers was one-man shot there. Now a chance for Walker stepping into one. Kicked away by Vladar. Loose puck. Flyers get it out for Bump. Bump, watched by Gostisbehere. Bump, feeds Barkey. Barkey shot, and Anderson got a piece. How did that not go in, Trip?
It wouldn't have counted. It's goalie interference. Kyle Raymond made the call immediately, so even had that gone in the net.
Minor goalie interference.
Remember, Bump had the collision with Anderson in the second period. There was no fault of his own on that particular play. Ehlers had made a really good defensive play, but in this case, Bump did not have an awareness as he was cutting across the front of the net to try to create a net front. He didn't have an awareness of where the blue paint was. So had that, and Anderson still made a save.
I mean, it's, if you like whistles, we got you covered in this one.
Well, this is massive right now, because I have always believed that a 4-on-3 power play opportunity is significantly a better opportunity than a 5-on-4, and you've got one. Let's see what you can do with it.
Another power play. Gostisbehere has it as the Canes win the draw. Gostisbehere, tops of the circles, hands it off for Aho. He'll turn around. Aho with it, left circle. His shot, that hit some metal. Svechnikov is able to keep it in. He'll leave it there for Gostisbehere. Now Aho back across Svechnikov. He's got to go skate to stick. He goes low to high for Gostisbehere. Now send it cross. They score! It's a power play goal! Andrei Svechnikov. It's the second power play goal of the game, and the Canes have a 3-1 lead here in the third.
Well, Svechnikov has missed his shot location on a handful of one-timers in this series, but he sure didn't miss that. Aho's seam pass on the 4-on-3 was a thing of beauty. It was a no-looker, and it was with tremendous pace. And the third element is it was right squarely in the wheelhouse of Andrei Svechnikov. And all of those ingredients were the difference as Vladar was moving from right to left. His skate on the glove side almost got to the post, but it didn't get quite there. Svechnikov's blast went off his skate and just made its way into the net. Sensational pass from Sebastian Aho, tons of velocity on it, and truly right into the wheelhouse firing position for Andre to extend the lead.
And the Canes 2 for 6 on the man advantage. And now a little bit more breathing room here in game 3 as they look to take a 3-0 series lead. And now Chatfield with it. He's got the go-ahead goal. A shorthanded goal in the second period. Flyers, you talked about them leaving the zone early. I got to think they're going to do it even more now. Down 2 goals, they've got to find some kind of offense as this is flipped into the Kane zone. Racing after it's Dvorak, but they're going to call icing as Slavin gets there first. 15:29 to go in the third. 3-1. Carolina leads Philadelphia here in the Eastern Conference semifinals.
Well, right now you're just trying to win a hockey game, but I think that Aho, Svechnikov, Gostisbehere have taken big steps in terms of their offensive swagger in this game. And bumps, goaltender interference play, that's an offensive zone penalty. A 4-on-3 is such a more dangerous opportunity than a 5-on-4, maybe even a 5-on-3, quite candidly. And the Hurricanes made no mistake.
And this puck is deflected over the glass into the crowd. And for Svechnikov, his 24th goal all time in the postseason. What a time for his first this year.
Remember I said, because he was missing his shot location earlier in this game, just try to power it by the goaltender.
Yep.
Don't worry so much about location. Now, he had a terrific location there, but Sebastian Aho did it all. He sold the shot, so Vladar was just a hair late getting his movement from right to left. The pass had a ton of miles per hour on it, and it was right where it needed to be in the wheelhouse for Andre to fire and score.
Carolina with 3 special team goals tonight. 2 on the power play, 1 shorthanded. Svechnikov with a goal and an assist on the power play. Now Philly working it through, and Anderson has to knock that one away from Konechny. Oh, how many good looks has he had on Frederik Anderson? And Anderson always has the answer.
That might have been his biggest save of the night. He made that look a lot easier, Frederik Anderson, than it was. Moving one way, flashing out those pinball flippers. Flashing out that pinball flipper on his leg on the glove side.
Now Vladar plays this one away from Staal as the Canes get it in deep, chipped out. And racing for it's Barkey, but able to get to it first was Nikishin for Ehlers. He'll clear it, but right to Carl Grundstrom, but he'll give this one away, and Ehlers with speed. Cross ice, shot right on by Staal, save made by Vladar. Gostisbehere to the rebound. He'll chip it to Staal. What a night the captain's having for Carolina.
He's been the best player on the ice for either team. It's just that simple.
And now a chance for Philadelphia to get this one in deep. And due deference to John Sterling, El Capitan.
Maybe he's mad about not being a finalist for the Selke Trophy, which is puzzling, but he has just been awesome tonight.
He has been what you want out of your leader. But there's still some runway left here in this game. 13:40 remains. Carolina will roll this one back into the Flyer zone. Aho tries to get to it. Svechnikov will cut off. A good play there on Drysdale. Aho cross the rink. A shot for Chatfield. We've already gone to Chatmandu once, but no ticket there as Vladar catches it and hangs on. 13:29 left here in the third period. Canes trying to go up 3-0 in the series. They lead 3-1 over the Flyers. You're listening to the Stanley Cup playoffs here on the Hurricanes Radio Network.
Mike Maniscalco here, and I'm hanging out with my good friend Paul Auclair, the owner of Deep River Brewing Company and proud sponsor of your Carolina Hurricanes. Paul, tell us a little bit about Deep River Brewing Company.
Deep River Brewing Company is located at 700 West Main Street in historic downtown Clayton, North Carolina. Our brewery and tap room are open Wednesday through Sunday. We have 12 beers on tap and food trucks on site daily.
And you can find Deep River beer at local bottle shops, restaurants, and grocery stores. If you don't find Deep River at your local watering hole, make sure to ask for it by name. And remember, drink local.
When you drive a vehicle so reliable it's backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty, you stop thinking about what you can't do and start doing what you never thought possible. Visit your local Kia dealer today to see what you're capable of in a vehicle that inspires confidence around every corner. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely. Limited inventory available. Warranties include 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain and 5-year 60,000-mile basic. Warranties are limited. See retailer for details.
Hockey is fast, thrilling, and full of energy, just like the Triangle. For 20 years, Lenovo has called North Carolina home, fueling innovation right here in our community. At Lenovo Center, Lenovo and the Carolina Hurricanes continue to elevate every moment on and off the ice. From the rink to the seats, it's all about power, speed, and connection. Cheer louder, celebrate bigger. The action starts at Lenovo Center. See you there.
Attention Canes fans, when the Hurricanes win a road game, you win big with Alpaca Chicken. Celebrate every Canes road win. Register and redeem your BOGO entree the day after a Canes road win. Alpaca Chicken, where every win tastes better. Download the app now.
Peruvian huge Caniacs.
Yeah.
That is Peruvian chicken. And hello to all of we have got quite a few huge Caniac listeners in Machu Picchu, too.
I believe we are the official team of Peru. Thanks to our engineer here on site, Joe Carminati and Rusty Helzer. Back in master control. Canes win the offensive zone draw with a 3-1 lead. Now 13 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the third. A chance out in front for Hall. And Stankoven got the play back. Now it's worked back, and Slavin will keep it into the left point. He'll work it around for Chatfield. Chatfield's pass deflected by Drysdale, and the Flyers can get to it. York, he'll flip this one off of Slavin's stick. Couturier settles it down. A chance gets through. Second opportunity. Hathaway will crash the net, and now Hathaway is going to draw a crowd after Glendening was parked at the top of the crease.
What a save by Freddie Anderson. He has now made 2 biggies since Svechnikov made it 3-1. And that's the thing about Frederik Andersen, is he makes A saves look like they're B- saves because of his positioning, because of his reads. And I mean, this was a heck of a shot from Sean Couturier through traffic. And you had Garnet Hathaway. The shot was to the blocker. You had Garnet Hathaway driving the net. And Anderson is able to seal it and hold on between his blocker arm and the body. And these 2 big saves that he made, the prior one right after the 3-1 goal on Konechny, Mike, what does it do? It buys you more time where this building doesn't get into the game.
Yeah.
With still a lot of time to play. That's why I think they're 2 of his biggest saves of the night.
12:59 remaining. Staal with the defensive zone win. He draws it back. Carolina clears it out. And now here's the chance. In on the break. Ehlers shoots. He scores! It started with the draw. And then the other way. And Nikolai Ehlers buries it. And it's 4-1 Carolina. And this building is stunned silent.
Nikolai Ehlers has been as close as you can get to scoring all night long. And you know what he's kept going back to? The glove-high position, his shot location. What a play by Jordan Martinook right at the center red line to just wire it to a streaking Nikolai Ehlers wide. Fly in, the guy they call Fly, right by the Philadelphia bench. That's Jordan Martinook's second big-time assist to this game. He's the guy that shorthanded started the play, eventually Jalen Chatfield scoring from Jordan Staal. That's the history of playing together. Jordan Martinook, he had 2 or 3 Flyers around him. He just knew that Ehlers would be flying down the outside. Made no mistake, did Ehlers on the shot.
Ehlers' second of the postseason. And now Barkey with it as play gets back to action. Give the assists, Martinook and Keandre Miller. Staal started it with the clean win. Miller sent it out. What a play by Jordan Martinook. And this building is as quiet as it has been, except for the jeering of the goal call right there.
I'm going back to the 2 Anderson saves at 3, what is now 4-1. 1 on Couturier, 1 on Konechny. Would have been a 1-goal game, building electrified. Now it's quiet with a 4-1 margin for the Hurricanes.
Now an opportunity as it comes across. Svechnikov takes aim for his second. That shot wide. Aho. His shot goes wide and goes off the glass. Carolina can keep it in with Nikishin. Martinook, his second assist of this game, second assist of the postseason, and now Jarvis with a step. Jarvis, he's taken off of the buck by Drysdale. Little roll to the end boards behind Vladar. A heavy shove there given to Svechnikov. He'll get right back up, and Bump knocks it out. Now looking to make a play is Martone. He'll just get it in deep at the end of his shift.
Martinook deserves a good night, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I forgot
absolutely.
my phone charger on the road trip. He gave me his. It's a game saver for me. He deserves to have this type of night.
And we did tell him, going off the bus, have a good one. And this might be a delay of game on Philadelphia as it's over the glass. And a fan in Voorhees, New Jersey has a souvenir they don't want because it is a delay of game. Dog pog.
Number 22, 2-minute minor, delay game, puck over the glass.
Mike, Carolina won Game 3 in Ottawa 2-1. They're up 4-1 right now. But what was the critical piece of that eventual win? And what could be the critical piece? The extended 5-on-3 kill in the second period. The Hurricanes had one against the Ottawa Senators in Game 3. That one was approaching 90 seconds. This one was 1:15.
That's another power play. And it'll be the Stankoven group that starts it. They'd love to get on the board here. Blake peels it back to the left point, but nobody's there. So the Canes have to tag up. Well, you wanted the Canes to have more power plays. They have it tonight. They've got 7 of them. Up against the 4 for Philadelphia. Now a chance for Miller. Whipped back across, but Glendening reads the play. He'll hang on to it, and he'll send it out for Sean Couturier. Couturier dropped it back, but Sanheim doesn't control it. Blake does now. As the Carolina winger moves this one in. Hall sidesteps a hit. He'll get it to Keandre Miller. Now Blake, he's got Stankoven. Blake takes the shot, and Vladar makes the save, and we'll get a whistle as he puts the catching glove on top of it there. 10:20 left here in the third period.
That was some really good power play puck movement. And, you know, you might think, well, you're comfortable. You're up 4-1, but Dan Vladar, Philadelphia's goaltender, who's had an exceptional playoff. The Flyers' best player in beating the Pittsburgh Penguins in 6 games. Very good in this series. He's just been outdueled by a red-hot Frederik Andersen.
Yep.
So you don't want to give up anything shorthanded, obviously, but you want to continue to try to score, you know, because you never know what it can do for the will of the Flyer goaltender, who has been their MVP this season.
There's some debris on the ice. The officials will go get it. Hand it off to the Canes bench. 10:20 remaining here in the third. 1:12 on this 7th power play for Carolina. Philadelphia's Glendening wins the draw, and Ristolainen will send this all the way down. It'll bank off of the backboards behind Frederik Andersen. And the Canes will start it out here. Shane Gostisbehere, watched by Glendening. Drop back for Ehlers. Ehlers has given the Canes a 3-goal cushion. It is second of this postseason. Now he'll hand it off. Jarvis to Aho. Aho wanted to go back to the point for Gostisbehere, but that's red. Philly wanted to clear, but all the way across is Svechnikov. Now Ehlers with a quick shot, but can't get it away off the heel. They'll set it back up, looking for Aho. That pass knocked away. Gostisbehere controls the loose puck. He'll get it to Ehlers. Back to Gostisbehere, left point. He'll walk the blue line to the middle. Hand it off. Now out in front, Jarvis with a shot and an arm saved by Vladar. 18 seconds left on the man advantage. Ehlers' shot deflects into the corner. Waved at by Aho. Svechnikov helps him out. Centering attempt, though, chipped away, and Couturier with it for Philadelphia. And in 5 seconds, out of the box will come Dvorak. Now York comes in, tries the short side on Anderson, and he'll make a chest save. 9 minutes left here in the third period. Out of the box comes Dvorak. Carolina 2 for 7 on the man advantage here tonight. Bouncing puck flipped in on Vladar, and he will cover it. And we're going to handle that, I believe, as the icing situation. So Philly can't change. Carolina can pick their dot with 8:54 left here in the third, and a 4-1 Hurricanes lead in Game 3. Oh, they're going to give us a whistle. 8:54 left. We just set it up for you. Carolina with a 3-goal lead, 4-1 in the third period in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. You're listening to the Stanley Cup playoffs on the Hurricanes Radio Network. He's Trip Tracy. I'm Mike Maniscalco in Carolina. Trying to finish this one strong here, Trip.
Jordan Staal back on the ice. And, you know, before that blockbuster trade during his wedding reception years ago when he was traded from Pittsburgh to Carolina, his last playoff series was against the Flyers as a Penguin. And he was the Penguins' best centerman in that series. I mean, he had more production, I believe, than either Sidney Crosby or Evgeny Malkin. So he's had a playoff history in this building, this being the first time that the Hurricanes and Flyers have ever played in the postseason.
Can I share a good moment with you this morning real quick about that? I asked him about, you know, you have a favorite playoff moment in this building, knowing how well he played in a Penguins jersey here. He's like, no, my memory is terrible. I don't remember anything I did. And Sebastian Aho backed it up because he doesn't remember anything anymore.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't remember if he had Cheerios or cornflakes this morning.
Neither do I.
The Flyers won that series, but Staal was the Penguins' best player, and that was his last playoff series as a Penguin, where, of course, he won a Stanley Cup in 2009.
All right, back to the action here, and we'll get to what we had for breakfast later. I know you have a good cup of coffee. I usually follow suit on that.
Yeah, I violate the principle. Eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper. I do the opposite.
7:40 remaining here in the third period. Carolina leads 4-1. We're going to get a whistle here. High sticking penalty coming up.
Sebastian
and another
Aho.
Penalty. Yep.
He came up high on Alex Bump. You know, Mike, with work to be done, what you've wanted, you'll take wins any which way you can get them. But announcement first, and then I'll further my thought.
Carolina number 20 is a 2-minute minor, high sticking.
It was right between the two benches. Aho came up high on Alex Bump after Aho had battled with Trevor Zegras. But Gostisbehere, best game of the playoffs, pointless coming in. Svechnikov had a good series against Ottawa, didn't get rewarded, then got into penalty trouble in the first two games of this series. Sebastian Aho, really good career numbers against Philadelphia. He's taken some big offensive steps here tonight. Jarvis, the big goal that even got it to overtime on Monday night. So that's important. You'll take it from anybody, but when you have your meal ticket guys starting to show signs of offensive confidence, that's icing on the cake.
Well, still a little bit of baking left to be done in this one with 7:39 to go in the third period. And the fifth power play for the Flyers here tonight. They'll drop the puck, but we'll do it again. And, of course, that will not make the faithful here happy.
There's a fair number of the faithful that have left. Rick Tocchet, what a job he's done as the Flyers head coach. Trailing by 3 goals, but when you can ice the puck for free, you know, he'll go the entirety of these 2 minutes. If they don't score, then he'd probably think about lifting his goaltender.
Well, they'll win the draw. Now Drysdale with it inside the blue line. His shot deflected. Anderson stays like a brick wall, keeps it out. Rebound available. Forster wants to get to it. Martinook can't clear. Couturier, he'll keep it in. Peeled back to the point for Drysdale. Forster with it. That was a good play by Philly to keep it in. Better play by Staal to get it to Martinook, and this time, no mistake. He delivers it about 120 feet back into the Flyers zone. Already 30 seconds have been taken off of this power play chance for the Flyers.
Jankowski killing for Sebastian Aho since Aho is obviously in the box.
Chatfield run by York. Clean hit along the boards. Jarvis gets it out for Jankowski. Jankowski reaches for it. He'll get to it and then just chip it behind the Flyers net. Where it'll be left there, Vladar leaves this back for Konechny. He'll drop it back. Konechny will head to the bench for a change. I'm going to figure a little bit more urgency here out of the Flyers as Ristolainen carries it in. Now Barkey with it, tries to go through 4 players, loses it in the corner, and just a simple play by Jarvis to hammer it all the way down.
It wasn't that simple because a lot of penalty killers would have tried to wire it up the wall, and Porter Martone had that covered. He felt that going up the middle was the right area to clear the puck, and he was dead right.
Now kept in by Philadelphia. Dvorak with it along the right wing boards. Moved across for York. York goes high to low. Out in front, Martone was looking for Bump. He couldn't settle it down. Ristolainen Back around the boards, too far for Martone. Martinook will sweep this one back into the Flyers zone. 15 seconds left in the penalty kill for Carolina. Under 6 minutes to go here in Game 3. A 4-1 Hurricanes lead. Nikishin with it now. And this will be sent back into the Flyers zone. Philadelphia with it. Now up the boards. And reversed back for Drysdale. 5:35 left here in the third period. Canes with a 3-goal lead. Goals by Staal, Chatfield, Svechnikov, and Ehlers. Now Glendening wants to center one off the side of the net, but intercepted by Hall. Now to center ice. Blake wants to get to it. That goes off of the linesman's skate. And a loose puck. Taylor Hall will get to it. He'll turn back to his own zone. Smartly hands it to Gossesberry. He'll feed Stankoven. Into the Flyers end. Picked up here by Blake. Blake has a shooting lane, and that'll be missed and off the boards, but kept in at the left point by Gossesberry. Gossesberry will take the feed from Stankoven on the keep in. Now Gossesberry with it. Behind the net it goes for Blake. Blake lets it bounce for Stankoven. And he will push that one hard, and the hard rim misses everybody and rolls back into the Canes end.
If Rick Tocchet is going to pull his goaltender based on the hill to climb, it's going to be pretty soon.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if he just leaves Vladar in.
Now Carolina going back to work. Carrier with it out in front for Robinson, and Vladar robs him. Oh, what a save.
What a save. I mean, Robinson had those 3 great A's in Game 2. You know, and at some point he's going to score. He scored in the second round. Remember that beauty he scored against Logan Thompson in Washington? That was a phenomenal stop, moving the same direction that he did when he couldn't get to Svechnikov's 4-on-3 power play goal.
This will be chipped in deep into the Flyer zone. 4 minutes left here in the third period. Canes with a 3-goal lead, trying to go up 3-0 here in the Eastern Conference semifinal, the Metro Division bracket. Take a look. This is the only game in town tonight. When I say in town, that's the entire NHL. We'll get back to some playoff hockey tomorrow. As taking a look around, you've got Buffalo trying to go up 2-0 on Montreal, and Vegas and Anaheim. That series tied at 1 as it shifts to Anaheim.
And you're never in control of a playoff series until you win on the road, even after taking care of home ice advantage, as you did against Ottawa, as you did in games 1 and 2 against Philadelphia. You're about to be in control, but you never are until you win on the road. And what steps this club has taken winning on the road this season, twice as many as they lost in the regular season. They're about to go 3-0 on the road in the playoffs this year.
Under 3 minutes to go here. Ehlers with it now. He'll hustle into the Philadelphia zone. Send it across for Staal. Staal with a backhand out in front. Martinook will whack at it. Loose puck taken away and played up the boards by Forster. Not out. Excellent keep in by Slavin. And he'll just flip one into the corner, and the Canes can change up.
And Slavin's been a huge part of the story, and his partner Jalen Chatfield. Even aside from Chatfield's goal, that right now is the difference. They've been full value tonight.
How about the goal that Slavin saved?
Yes, late in the first period. I think coming out of the first period like Carolina did, Mike, and then the 5-on-3 kill, those are the 2 big moments in this game.
Now Konechny trying to get something out of Miller, and Miller's just laughing at him. Now Couturier, he's got Jankowski. Jankowski chops down on him.
The linesmen are doing a good job here. You know, it's Couturier is now trying to go with Jankowski. This is where the linesmen and the 2 officials just have to make sure there's no eruptive nature here late in this hockey game. They did a good job. I would think that Konechny's going to get the extra. He might get tossed with a 10-minute misconduct here late in the game, like those misconducts we saw back in Game 1.
Let's see if those will be the ruling, but Konechny is looking
he's
like
headed to the dressing room, yeah. It's dealing with the first period. Now Philadelphia hit 2 posts, Mike, and then the 5-on-3 to keep your lead intact in the second period. Those are the 2 swing moments, and it's taken everybody, but you've gotten an unbelievable night in every way, checking every box from your captain, Jordan Staal.
Yep. And with that, we'll take a break. We will come up with a conclusion of the third period here. 2:19 remaining in the final frame. Carolina leads Philadelphia 4-1 here in Game 3. It's the Stanley Cup playoffs here on the Hurricanes Radio Network. You just heard on the man advantage to basically effectively close this one out.
Well, they're going to close it out, and so as I recap it, Mike, number one, I've never had as much fun as I'm having with you right now.
Good time.
The guys are obviously making it easy for us, but to have fun. But all of the lessons that have been learned, and you're going to still have to win your fourth game, and that's always the toughest.
Yep.
But usually you say a team that can really go deep and challenge for the Stanley Cup needs at a minimum one short series. As early as this series started, before any of the others, you're going to have an opportunity to accomplish 2 short series. And that would be massive. And it looks like this team is fully aware of the value of that. I mean, your Eastern Conference final, the fourth one will be the toughest, partner, but it would be like you're starting the playoffs in the first round.
It's another Powerball power play for Carolina. 20 seconds has gone by on this one as Travis Konechny's night ends with 2 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in this one. Sean Walker with it. He'll play it back behind the net. Martinook wanted to find Carrier, but that's knocked away. Sanheim will carry it to the Kane zone and just along the boards. So Carolina now with 1:35 left. We'll get this one into the Flyers zone. Martinook fights for it in the corner. He'll see Philadelphia roll this one back down, and Anderson tries to slow it down, but he can't. It'll be picked up by the Flyers. Hathaway gets it back. Sealer's shot knocked away by Forster. 1:15 remaining in this one. And again, if you're the Carolina Hurricanes, you've got a chance to go up 3-0. It's more than a chance. They're going up 3-0 in this best-of-7 series with a chance to close it out Saturday, 6 o'clock. You'll hear it right here on the Hurricanes Radio Network. As there's 33 seconds left in the power play. It's the 8th power play for Carolina. So, Chip, you asked, when was the last time the Canes opened up the postseason with more power plays than Ottawa? Haven't done it in the previous games. Well, they're going to do it tonight. 2 power play goals, a shorthanded goal, and now Jackson Blake hands it for Stankoven on the short side, and save made by Vladar with 10 seconds left in the man advantage. 25 seconds left in the game. Miller's going to go to the bench. And we're going to get another whistle. And it's Ristolainen
you don't need
going after Stankoven. Now Sealer and Stankoven. Stankoven doesn't have his helmet. Sealer's throwing punches with his glove on. Still has his glove on.
Ehlers is going too.
He's along the far boards.
Well, you got Garnet Hathaway going after Jackson Blake.
You got Ristolainen and Gostisbehere going, and Gostisbehere takes Ristolainen down to the ice, and then he throws him a shot. Now they're going against the boards. And you still have players squared off here with 25.2 seconds left.
Well, the guys are protecting themselves quite nicely. Good stuff from Shane Gostisbehere on Rasmus Ristolainen. It's par for the course. Garnet Hathaway choosing Jackson Blake as his combatant. He's always been very selective by who he chooses.
Shane Gostisbehere will make his way down the tunnel and can get to the showers early. Same thing for Logan Stankoven. They know that their team is going to be playing on Saturday with a 3-0 lead. Well, it started with Ristolainen, with a shove on Stankoven.
Yeah, and the linesmen did a really nice job. They ended up squaring off to some degree, anyways. But you don't want to see somebody get hurt late in the game, and the linesmen tried to get between Ristolainen and Stankoven, and then all of a sudden you had mayhem. You had Ristolainen and Gostisbehere stepping up for Logan Stankoven, then Hathaway and Jackson Blake. And Mike, whether it be Game 4 in Ottawa or here Game 3 in this second round series, it is my belief, some might say the Hurricanes have always had it, but I think the Hurricanes as a group have added snarl. They've added snarl, heaviness, and bite, whistle to whistle, and they've added it when they've needed it after whistles. When I think that, in particular, the Florida Panthers exposed that it was lacking. And it's been sizable steps this year for Carolina.
Number 19, number 55, and number 24, 2 minutes for roughing. Carolina penalty number 22 and number 4, 2 minutes for roughing. 2 minutes on the board for Philadelphia.
So it'll be 6 seconds of a 5-on-3, and the 8th. Move this down for Carolina, the 9th power play of the night.
You're cruising to victory, but this thing comes down to how you handled Philadelphia's really good start. And you got a couple of bounces. Flyers did hit a couple of posts in the first period. Konechny one, Martone the other. But then you get a huge shorthanded goal. What more can the penalty kill do? Staal to Chatfield. And then the minute and 15-second 5-on-3, where you didn't even give up a quality opportunity. It's now comfortable. It's not in doubt. But that's where this game, the pendulum swung in favor of the Carolina Hurricanes en route to what will be a 3-0 series lead.
Face off. Jankowski wins it. Walker will rim it around the boards. 20 seconds left. Martinook's going to take a heavy hit along the boards. We'll see if there's any other shenanigans here as that goes into the corner. And there will be. As Philly will just chip this out. 5 seconds left. Couturier gets up and they'll just let it skate away. And the horn goes. And the Carolina Hurricanes are 1 win away from advancing to their 4th Eastern Conference Final appearance in 8 years.